All right, let's get everybody in here, baby. Let's get everybody fired up. Let's get everybody in here. I'm gonna wait before I start this video because it's an important one. We're gonna start it off right tonight. What's up, Vonnie? What's up, everybody? Anyone who's in here? Let's get this a little bit closer. All right. I don't got very many people in here yet. We're gonna kind of hold off a second before I start this. What's up, everybody? What's up, guys? Oh, yep, that's a little big. I have to go down with that a little bit. I'm gonna add some graphics for this. I mean, they're kind of lame graphics right now, but what's up, P-Bus? What's up, Hayes? What's up, Indigo? Ruby? How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Yep. Thank you, thank you. I might have to turn that down because that alert is a little loud. Oh, here we go. Turn it down a little bit. What's up, Robert? What's up, Adam? What's up, Fatal? What's up, Liz? Jake from State Farm. So we're gonna watch this video. We're just gonna start it off like this. I want everyone to kind of see this. This is one of my favorite, probably the favorite MAGA rapper, if you will. So we're gonna listen to this. I thought it was good. I'm sure a lot of you've already heard it, but we're gonna start off like that. Wait for everybody to kind of get in here, and then we got a good show tonight. Chandler's gonna join us, and we'll have a good show tonight. All right. What's up, Tom? It's not as much about the music, guys, as the signs and the family in the back kind of made me tear up. So I wanted to show all of you guys this, and I know some of you seen it, but I swore that there was no tears that were gonna fall. I swear. I swear there wasn't. There wasn't any. There wasn't any that was gonna fall. Anyways, yeah, so I wanted everyone to see that. It's kinda, I don't know. For a rapper video, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool video. I can't even lie. So, like I said, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I kind of want to go over some things, the Capitol in general, what happened that day. You know, I think in the next coming days, I'm going to try and get Villain in here and try and get his perspective. I know he was there on the grounds, and I want to hear what he has to say. So Villain, if you're listening, I want to interview you in the next couple of days. Shit. Hold on. You guys are saying no sound. Hold on. Hold on. I got you. There you go. Okay. Well, we're going to have to watch it again then. We're going to have to watch it again. Gotta watch it again. Gotta watch it again. Nope. Nope. Watching it again. Watching it again. That's it. Alright. So, like I said, I'm going to get Chandler in here. We're going to talk about, you know, the Capitol, what happened, why they're covering it up, why they would be trying to cover it up, and just talk about, I want to kind of, you know, after he gets off the phone, we'll talk about, you know, like the 5 people that were killed, how they were killed, what happened, what actually happened, and what the news is portraying it as. I think it's important that everyone understands that they are openly lying to us on news networks. I don't have all the videos off the top of my head. I didn't have the time to pull them up, but CNN, MSNBC, another CNN news anchor, all are reporting those deaths incorrectly, and they're misinforming the public. So we're going to go over that. I'm going to get Chandler in here, and yeah, but I want you guys to watch this video with sound because it's important. Thanks for the like, Gigi.
Jump drain in the swamp, America, that's why we love them. We the people got us back, you know we stand for something. I was at the Capitol, witness hate in their eyes. I stood on them battlegrounds, they won't catch me inside. Posted with them patriots, they had tears in their eyes. They tryna steal our pride, boy, yeah, you know we outside. They can never take our freedom, real patriots ride. They can never take our freedom, real Americans ride. I done seen them barricades open and people jumping. I done seen the media police walk them right in. They gon' try to lock us down, you know we popping out. 1776, boy, you know we rocking out. People judging people, this is crazy these days. They been shooting, they been rioting for hundreds of days. Patriots, we fed up, we know that we got set up. Who made that phone call, they got that patriot wet up. Ashley, baby, yeah, you know we hold you in prayer. Ashley, baby, yeah, you know your soul's in the air. Ashley, baby, yeah, you know true patriots care. Left your blood up on the battlegrounds, life isn't fair. Oh, at least we making history. Never forget what they did to me. Boy, you know I bounce back on them, won't even say names. They tryna ban me, yeah, I'll make a new page. Jump drain in the swamp, America, that's why we love them. We the people got us back, you know we stand for something. I was at the Capitol, witness hate in their eyes. I stood on them battlegrounds, they won't catch me inside. Posted with them patriots, they had tears in their eyes. They tryna steal our pride, boy, yeah, you know we outside. They can never take our freedom, real patriots ride. They can never take our freedom, real Americans ride. Gang, let's start a patriot party. Yeah, let's start a patriot party. Yeah, RIP to anybody who lost their life in the Capitol, man. January 6th, on both sides, you know. I saw with my own eyes. My feet were out there. I was on the battlegrounds. I was not in no Capitol though. Never went up in the Capitol. firsthand. I put a lot of time in for Trump. We put a lot of time in for Trump. Truck rallies, boat rallies, patriots stand up. We start a patriot party. Ashley Babbitt, R.I.P. you. God bless you, God bless your family, man. Gang. Make Trump president again, you know how we coming. Stand up.
All right, for a rapper video, that's pretty damn good. All right. But so yeah, let's get Chandler in here. He's waiting on the line very patiently cuz apparently I didn't have any sound on. Sorry about that. Chandler, let's get you in here, buddy. Let's give him a call. And make sure I have my audio on this time. Chandler, my friend.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay. Well, for some reason they can't hear you on the desktop. So, let me see here. Hold on. Let me work my magic.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now I got you. All right. Okay. So, my friend, we got Chandler Pappas in the house, and I'm just gonna let him speak for a minute because this dude has some good words and he's very inspirational. So I don't know how he wants to start it off, but it is your 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it ends up being of fame, sir. So take it away.
Man, last thing I ever wanted actually was to be known for any of this. That's funny you say that. When I met Joey like 2 years ago, I was always, he was always trying to get me to speak. Come out and say something. Come out and say something. Nah, man, I'll hang back in the background. I can help organize and fundraise and do whatever. But it was always, I hated public speaking, and coming into the public light only happened because of Jay's murder. And it would have been, and I figured it just would have been wrong not to get vocal about it, because here's the thing. This country, the way that it's going, the things that they're allowing to happen, that we, the people, have allowed to happen. They've stolen any number of governor's chairs. They stole our freaking presidency, man. And if people don't get out and do something, if they don't vocalize, then we're done. I mean, we have no representation anymore. We have no Congress. We have no Senate. We have no presidency. The whole thing is over for us unless we choose to act. But I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you have some ideas on what the next thing that we do. Where do we go from here? Because a lot of people are talking about bloodshed, and I don't think that's necessarily immediately where it goes from here. What do you think?
No, I don't think so either. And you know, I find it funny. It's kind of random, but I find it funny that the media is blaming Trump for inciting violence and insurrection, and
That they've been doing all summer.
But they have literally been propping up the groups that have been doing the insurrecting and the violence and the destruction and tearing our communities apart. So, it's like the fogs of war is what it reminds me of. You got a bunch of people that, are portraying themselves as, getting the truth out, getting the news to the people, the free press. And I just don't see that happening. The only time I saw it happening is January 6th and 7th, when they started calling it, an act of terrorism. And that's finally when the news got the attention from protesters. You know what I mean?
Right, but it was because it was the wrong protesters before.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. It's very confusing. And I was watching Tucker today, and I mean, I'm sure we all know who Tucker Carlson is. And he just laid it out perfectly, man. I mean, this is all a setup. They set all this up to make us look bad. We the Republicans, we the right side, if you will. And
Right side of history, anyway.
yeah. Well, they I mean, look what they portrayed us as for 8 or 9 months, 10 months, and it worked. It worked. They took one time, out of context, basically, of when we, the people, rose up finally and, made it like we're the terrorists now. It's just crazy how we've gotten here. And, like, what do you think? What do you think about that whole thing? Like, I mean, I obviously have my own opinions about it, but what do you think about the whole, January
Well,
6th? I know you weren't there, but so I mean we can't
because I was in jail.
Well, yeah, because yeah, and I wasn't there, so we can't incriminate ourselves at this point. But what I mean, like, what do you think? Like, was that really a terroristic act? I don't think it was. I mean,
So,
I mean
I
it.
mean,
I mean it was unlawful. It was unlawful. But can we go? I mean, they're comparing this to 9/11. Today they compare. Today on CNN they compared it to the Rwanda genocide. Okay.
yeah, literally nobody died. Well, that's not true, is it?
No, there was 5 people.
Well, five
There's
people
5 people
died.
that died. Okay, and I actually wrote something up about this. So
So I'm distracted. I'm looking for something that's part of the Oregon State Constitution to quantify what I'm about to say on my opinion on this. But go ahead. What did you write up?
so basically these are the people that died. Okay, you've got Kevin Greason. He was talking on the phone to his wife. He died from a heart attack. Okay, it's known. They proved it. Squash. That's 1 of 5. The second one was Rosalind Boylan, and they tore this woman apart after she died. It was horrific. I watched this on the news. They tore this woman apart. They talked about how she was studying QAnon theory online. She was a Trump supporter. Okay, all 5 of these people were Trump supporters. Okay, and they used that to justify how she was killed and why she was killed. It's horrific. If you watch the CNN and the MSNBC newsreels of her, it is. I mean, like, I almost want to pull. I can't though, because it's just it's bad. It's bad, and she was trampled to death. Okay, and we have a reporter that was there, aka Villain Report. Okay, he was there on the grounds. He saw it, and it traumatized him. He watched this woman get trampled to death. Okay.
Dude, on just real quick on Villain, he was up in Chaz and watched one of those kids that got shot bleed to death.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
one of the only he's one of the only other guys actually in this thing that's witnessed the murder of somebody,
yeah,
and now he's had to go through it again. So
yeah,
hats off to him. I know he's
yeah,
having he's got to be having a
exactly.
bit of a rough time with it.
Oh, I know he was, and I till this point I didn't want to talk to him about it because I know that it's if that was me there, I would be traumatized. I mean, still, I wouldn't want to talk about it. So if he never wants to talk about it ever again, I don't blame him. But I would love to have a conversation with him, man, about that. He was there. He saw it. He was boots on the ground there. And, the way they kind of misconstrued her death sickened me. Also, Ashley Babbitt, that was the lady we just watched the video about. Obviously, we all know she got shot through the door by a Capitol police officer, which we are now finding out is, I don't want to spread rumors, but we're finding out more things about that, and it's not good. Okay.
So if we address it as a rumor, I think it's okay. And the rumor is that he's a BLM supporter,
Yes.
which
Yes.
doesn't surprise anybody.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I agree. Yeah. I mean, just we have to. I mean, that's what's being reported right now. So.
Yeah, and that's fair journalism. Hey,
Yeah.
the rumor is we're hearing that, this is what's
Yeah.
being said, not this is fact,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't know for sure.
And then, you have Brian Sicknick, which is what I want to say for last. He's a police officer. And, if, if you type in his name and how he died at the Capitol, they tell you he died blunt force trauma to the head via fire extinguisher. Okay. And
Pretty specific.
if you, okay, if there was, I mean, there was not if there was video there, okay, and if they had evidence of someone beating that man up with a fire extinguisher or multiple beating a police officer, if it was on video, these people would have been convicted already and sentenced to life in prison, okay? But the media is portraying it as an armed insurrection, and what they're saying they were armed with was a fire extinguisher and other blunt force objects, which were found on scene. Okay, so that's how the media is portraying it. But if you dig deeper, it comes out he talked to his brother. He said he was maced twice. He texted his brother the same day, said he was maced twice, but he was fine. Okay. Later that day, he has a stroke and dies. Okay? And they attributed that to him being beat over the head with a fire extinguisher, which they still have no proof of. Okay? So, they also, here's the little capper to this. They also cremated his body within 2 days of him dying before a proper autopsy was done on his body. Okay,
That's not suspicious.
That's kind of crazy. Okay, so my theory is well, what is everyone? What are we covering up? You know what I mean? Why are we so quick to move this man to the get him cremated? Why are we not talking? There's videos of Ashley being shot. Why are we not talking about it? Why are those videos not released yet? Why are they not talking about how that police officer was a BLM sympathizer? Why are we not talking about these kinds of things? Okay, I'll tell you why. It's because the media started this, and they're easily going to finish this. And the finishing is going to be taking all our rights away because they're in with the rich elite. They're in to take us down, and that's what they want to do. That is the process of this. That's what's happening. I'm convinced. And, the fact that there was BLM and Antifa involved in that insurrection at the Capitol solidifies that even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, I hesitate to call that an insurrection.
I don't either. Yeah. I mean, for, non-propaganda purposes to, fulfill, I guess our duty, I'm calling it an insurrection just because, the people, whether there was good or bad people there, it happened. You know what I mean? So
sure, but
the bad things happen. Go ahead.
Well, so in the First Amendment, we the people have the right to petition our representatives for a redress of grievances, and then specifically in the Oregon State Constitution, it reads, "All meetings of the governing body of a public body shall be open to the public, and all persons shall be permitted to attend any meeting." Part 1. Part 2. A quorum of a governing body may not meet in private for the purpose of deciding on or deliberating toward a decision on any matter. So, and many states have provisions like this in their constitutions. They don't get to separate themselves from us, and that's what they're trying to do. And what they're with all of this, like the gentleman who allegedly had his head bashed in, and that's why he died of a stroke later, and they burned his body, or even if we're going to talk about what happened with the election, the fact is the biggest problem isn't whether or not it's the voting machines, or whether or not it's mail-in ballots, or it was this, or it was that, or it was all of the disposed of Trump ballots that were found in creeks and trash cans and all kinds of places all over the country. The problem is that we're fighting about all this and not simply stating there are questions that need to be asked and you're not allowing us to ask them. That's the core of the fucking problem. Pardon my language. But once we address that, all of the other pieces. See, because we're over here fighting over crumbs, over which crumb means which thing. The bread is that they are no longer represent our interests. They are not representatives of the people. They're representatives of whichever corporation is paying them at that point. Um, once we start taking bites out of the bread and stop fighting the crumbs, I think our country is going to be in a lot better shape and we can gain momentum again. But arguing about whether, what about this little conspiracy or that conspiracy, or whether, this person died this way, or, whether or not the election was stolen, the problem is that they are not representing our interests. They're not saying, oh, you're curious about this? Let's find out. Oh, this isn't going the way my constituents voted? Let's see what I can do about that. Oh, and there's way more. And go ahead. Yeah, right. Well, even aside from just being conservative, I mean, everybody who's I've known to be a conservative falls back to constitutionalism. I mean, that's me personally in my circle. They lean a lot less on specific gun laws or the death penalty or whatever trivial issues we grew up thinking were like the conservative versus Republicans. They fall back on constitutionalism. They fall back on this is what our country is supposed to be. This is what it means to be patriotic. This is what it means to live in the United States of America. And I couldn't tell you how many Uber drivers or other people I've just met in the street, but I mean, I use that service fairly often. I find a lot of them who have come over here from other countries, and some of them, I had one guy in Florida almost to the point of tears because of what was happening in this country. Because of he tells me he's seeing it go exactly like it went where he came from, and he left from a socialist country to come here, to come to the land of opportunity, to be treated fairly, to have the best opportunities available in the entire world to him, and he's watching it fall apart before his eyes. And man, if I took everything that I had to leave a country like that and came to a place where I thought I could be free and watch it just in time to watch it dissolve, I'd probably be heartbroken too.
Yeah, no,
So I don't know
I don't think people realize how good we really do have it here.
even
Um,
still, man,
yeah,
even with
yeah,
all of the crap going on, we still have opportunities, and we just can't let them take the last of it.
yeah. No, I agree. We're the last vestige of freedom on Earth. That's for sure. So, do you think? Because I think media plays probably the biggest role in everything that's happened in the last year or two. I mean, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. We got obviously we have politicians that don't support our interests. They're obviously being voted in and are either one, doing their own agenda, or two, not abiding by why they were elected. And I can agree with that 100%. But it's just like it reminds me of like the Antifa press. Like when people see fake stuff, they believe it. You know what I mean? Like people when they get misled or you know turned in a different direction, people take that and run with it. And
yeah, well, and it's I think that's another like a crumb problem again, because I think it goes as far back as, and maybe even further back than this, but like as far back as my two dads. And when my dad was a kid in the late 70s or the 80s, they made my two dads a required reading in some schools around the country, which was just, it was homosexual propaganda. And they started with things like that and began to soften us. And so, you know, before my grandfather, his people would have never put up with this, right? But we have a generation of people who are
oh, I agree.
submissive, who
I
are raised
agree.
by single mothers, who are just emotional. They don't know how to be a man, how to stand up for themselves, how to say, no, that's definitely wrong. And further, they didn't grow up with a man to teach them. So of course they would submit to this. Of course they would allow this to happen. Of course they would let the media lie to them and not just ask. Maybe we should just look into that. Maybe that's a question worth asking. Oh, he's the enemy, therefore he's the problem. I'm not going to listen. La 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 la. And that's the approach that they take. And it baffles me that I live in such a world. I don't know how to correct that.
Parenting. change how you parent your kids, but I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna get that. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, how do you train a whole generation to train their kids correctly when
yeah,
the previous three generations have been incorrectly trained?
yeah.
Right? They've been taught to do. Not only have they been like mistrained, they've been trained to do the exact opposite, and they're just so well indoctrinated.
No, I agree. I agree. You know, why do you think they're pushing this Trump impeachment? Like, why? Like, what do you think? Like, I mean, obviously, so he'll never run again. We get that, but like, are they just totally trying to just completely wipe his? I mean, not even his legacy, just him off the face of the earth? Is that the goal? Like, what? At this point, you know what I mean? Like, you got him out of office. Like, you
I
won.
think it's
Like,
a I
what?
think more than that. I think it's a message because they have the votes in the Senate. Trump will be impeached. I do believe. I do believe that's going to happen. I don't think he has a snowball's chance in hell in winning in an unfair and unjust trial. I mean, did you see what his own lawyers did to him? They've just been setting him up from day one,
No, I was
and I
gonna.
think
So I'm gonna pull up videos tonight of the hearing because it's free public knowledge and they broadcast it. So I'm gonna pull it up tonight. We're gonna watch clips of it.
yeah, I think it's to send the message that they are going to do whatever the hell they want to do. I think
Yeah,
that
you think
I
so?
think it's to send I think it's to send a message, at least partially, to send a message that they will do and get away with whatever they want to do.
Just blows my mind, man.
Well, I mean, like myself, I mean, I'm looking at 8 felony and a total of 9 charges for attempting to petition my representatives for redress of grievances. Right, that which,
Yeah,
as I read earlier, that's in the Oregon State Constitution.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. No, I
Right,
agree. And
shall
well,
not be. Yeah, they
yeah.
shall not be closed to the public, man.
I'll stick to this till day one. You know, till I go to the grave. They could have handled that differently. They are the ones that chose to be violent like that. You know,
Well, yeah, and
we
they have no legal authority to block us out of the Capitol, none whatsoever.
we
Which
came
also
there
means
during
that
normal business hours too. We came there at normal
yes,
business hours. Like,
and we were let in.
yeah,
Mike Neerman
yeah.
let us in. He opened the door with the intent, as he has said on public record, to let us
And
in.
he should have. All of them should have. All of the
Mhm.
representatives in there should have because we have a
The
right to
fact
be
that
in
we only
there.
had one, yeah, and then that other guy that came out, I don't know his name, but to say to vote, we have to vote,
Yeah,
and it's all
yeah,
it's our responsibility to vote,
yeah,
dude. I took the megaphone away from that guy. I couldn't take it.
yeah. I
Right,
mean,
we just watched a presidential election stolen from us. We've
hey,
had mail-in voting here
hey,
for almost 30
to
years.
to his
Uh-huh.
credit, if you did you watch the video of him
No, I
standing
was
to
ignoring him.
well, you should go
Oh, the
watch
bit
it.
where he took his mask off or something. He said
Yeah,
something about the mask.
dude. I mean that's the most he could have possibly have done, and I mean they made him out to be a villain for that. So I mean, yes, when he came out, I didn't agree with what he was saying. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't my cup of tea. But what he did on that floor was very honorable, and we have to give credit where it's due. You know what I mean? Like some of these people are actually, like trying. Well, maybe if they're not even worried about our interests, maybe if they're just trying to climb the ranks, even that guy he did a good job that day. But when he came out, his speech was kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of,
Yeah,
eh.
I don't think he really knew how to read the room.
No,
Um,
no, 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 no. Because everybody was pissed off. We've had enough. I think
yeah, I
people
mean,
are upset and got every
well, yeah,
right
and
to
look,
be.
we didn't go in there guns blazing. We didn't hurt anybody,
No,
right?
no,
We wanted to be allowed in to our special session, which
no,
under Article 4, Section 14 shall remain open to the public.
no. Well, I mean, I hope, dude. I hope to God that. Well, I mean, I don't even need to because you're gonna win that case, dude. It's just a
Oh,
matter.
cut and
I
dry.
mean,
Yeah.
we got to make sure we get you the funds that you need too. So before you cut
Yeah, I'm
out of here,
working on that.
you need to make sure that if you have a GoFundMe or whatever going, you can list that off before we're done here. Um,
Yeah.
so let's see. Talked about the media. Oh, that's what else I was gonna say. What do you think about Mark Cuban and how they're saying they're not gonna play? I mean, I'm all against sports anymore, but when something like this pops up, I gotta pick it and read it. That motherfucker, not even excuse my language, is legitimately trying to get the national anthem not played at his games anymore. Like
Here's
at his team's games. Like,
do you know? Okay, real quick. Do you know if he's the only one who
huh?
has a vested interest? Do you know if he's the only one that has a vested interest in that team?
He no, but I think he's the sole owner. Obviously, there's probably investors, but I think like
Okay.
he owns that basketball team.
So this happened. I was talking about this when Gillette pulled that whole like anti-masculinity
I
campaign
seen
like a
you
year
said
ago.
something about that.
Yeah. So if I had invested in the NFL, if I was a team owner, or if I was invested in Mark Cuban's games, or any of that, and I watch my sales dip as a
Yeah.
direct result of somebody saying they're not going to play the national anthem, or they're gonna kneel for the national anthem and they're not going to salute the flag, and my sales dropped, or my revenue dropped. Hey, I have a contract to pay this basketball player 10 or 50 or whatever $1 million a year. Guess what? If my income goes down, then I still have to pay these guys that amount of money. Therefore, I'm losing. Right? I don't get to just say, oh, we're taking a hit, therefore the players take a hit. That's not how those contracts work, it's to my understanding at least. So I would probably be
No.
suing Mark Cuban for
No.
lost income,
Because
right?
they
Lost
said,
revenue. I
yeah,
would be
they,
suing the NFL for lost revenue.
yeah,
Where's my money going, man? Why
yeah,
did I invest in this? I invested to win,
yeah.
and
Because
you're causing me to lose intentionally.
yeah, they have to pay their players regardless. I mean,
Yeah.
unless they get injured, then they get cut pay. But even then, their contract's fulfilled out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like they have to make up that money somewhere. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's coming out of the investors'
yeah,
pockets.
yeah, exactly.
So
Well,
I mean, my thoughts on that is he's screwing his investors to virtue signal to probably at most 20% of the country, at most 20% of people in the entire country. And we live in like we're like laser focused evil leftism here. And even still, most of the people I talk to are somewhat rational. I can't imagine 1 in 5 people in the whole country thinks that this is acceptable. So virtue signaling
no,
to a complete minority class, for what reasons I can only speculate. They're costing everybody millions and millions of dollars. They cost me. It killed my business in the beginning with these lockdowns, all these leftist policies. I guess I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Mark Cuban is shit on his
no, no, no,
investors.
no. You're
He's shit
good.
on the American people, and I mean,
And anyone
frankly,
like him, anyone like him.
anyone like him.
Here's where I'm at. Here, I'm gonna take that one step further. The I do believe sports is a modern day plantation, and it is not a race thing anymore. And I think that the owners are profiting off these athletes, obviously, right? And
Right.
they are using them as guinea pigs to prop up their business. So somehow in their twisted, distorted mind, they think if they're woke, that people will understand that and buy more of their tickets and more of their jerseys and more of their, huh? That what? You think people like that? No, sports is an American thing. It brought people together. It was a way people gathered and had a laugh, or put a smile on their face, or made them have a good warm fuzzy feeling in their belly. Like that's why sports was invented. It wasn't invented to propagate your left wing agenda. Like,
Or a right wing agenda for that matter.
or any
It's just,
agenda, any
yeah,
agenda, right? And that's why I stopped watching sports, because you're exactly right, the right or the left. There should be no politics in sports. It's just like there should be no politics at the family dinner. There should be no politics in sports. That
yeah.
it should be
It,
completely disconnected.
right. And when I grew up, it was I had neighbors that were, I mean, my family was always conservative and we generally lived in a conservative area, but we had neighbors that were Democrats and they voted for different things. But back then it was like a different way to approach it. It was a different way to approach a problem. And actually I had and I always bring up that he was my former jujitsu instructor, not because I need people to know that I know how to fight, but because I have to trust this guy with my life. You know, when we get on the mat, he's like 6th-degree black belt and I came in off the street. And he maxed out for Bernie Sanders twice, both times. He just maxed out because he wanted Bernie Sanders to win. That's how far left this guy was. And he and I could always have a very respectful conversation because we agreed on one fundamental thing. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, right? There's a matter of respect that if we approach the problem as two people looking at an issue and appealing to the other with our solution to the issue, rather than the problem is the solution, like the problem is healthcare, or rather than, oh, well, it's universal healthcare. And we attack this universal healthcare, but we're not saying healthcare is too expensive. Why don't we have a different solution? Why don't we only allow medical patents to live for so long? You expire them after 10 years and they go to the open market. Or, you know, we only allow, like a utility, electricity can only be, you can only charge so much for electricity, right? Percentage wise, based on how much it costs you to make it. You can only make so much profit on it. Well, I mean, if healthcare is so necessary, maybe we just put a limit on how much they can charge for a bag of saline, and instead of it being $800, it's $8. You know, there are 100 different ways to approach it, and we become enemies because we're saying your solution to the problem is the real problem, rather than us just saying, hey, we have different opinions, and maybe we'll just take this problem and approach it together. Take a little from your side, take a little from my side, figure out pragmatically what's best for this situation.
Yeah, there is no more conversations anymore, unfortunately. Hey,
Yeah, sorry for the tirade.
no, you're good, dude. This is why I wanted you on here. You're a good talker. Someone asked how you feel about Kate Brown's trying to get legislation passed allowing seizure of private property.
I read that. So everything that I say and everything that I post online is being used to scrutinize me in open court at this moment. So I have to be very careful about how I approach this. But I will say it's legislation like that is the core foundational reason that the Second Amendment was written into the Constitution. And I'm going to leave it there.
Oh, I agree with you.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's criminal. They can't do it. Even if she passed this legislation, it's unconstitutional, so it can't actually be legal. So yeah, well, whatever is on paper, it won't be.
You also have to think who's going to come along and enforce it. Okay.
And that's the hard thing when she has the power to appoint all of the what's it called? The Supreme Court in Oregon here are all people colleagues of hers. You know, that's why when we won a smaller case out in Eastern Oregon, 10 churches came together and sued Kate Brown over her lockdowns, that they were unconstitutional, and a judge found that they were right. And it went to the Supreme Court and it was killed in like 2 days.
Yeah, it's nuts. Fucking
yeah,
nuts.
They didn't even
right
get
now.
a fair standing.
It's nuts, and Jay Inslee's doing the same mandates, same
and so
same
is Gavin
lockdown
Newsom, and
yep.
yeah.
Well, hey, there is good news on Newsom. They almost have enough votes to recall him and hold a new election.
They're only like 250,000 or 500,000 or something away, right?
Yeah. So
yeah,
I mean,
I've been watching that. Which is good. It is good, and you should fight for your home, right? But I was reading some scripture the other day.
Doesn't mean that a new guy's going to get in there.
I was going back through the Gospels. Huh?
Doesn't mean a new guy's going to get in there, but
right. Yeah. Well, when Christ told his apostles to go and spread the word, he also said about the towns that persecute you and throw you in prison, flee them, shake the dust off your feet and protest. For on the day of judgment, it will be worse to be them than Sodom. And they have butchered that a little bit, but all of the big pieces are there. There's no reason for a lot of people to stay in a place like this. There's no reason to be on the front line of losing your rights.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you could go live somewhere that, you know, represents your interests a little more closely. No, I mean the West Coast is definitely I mean, if you like liberalism and leftist nonsense, then this is definitely the place for you. This is
Yeah, I mean,
definitely the place
if
for
you're a
you.
godless heathen, absolutely
Hmm.
come to the left coast. You know, we're like, I think we're the worst. Portland, I think, is first in sex trafficking. So if that's where you want to raise your children, come on out.
Yeah, pretty unrealistic times that we're living in. Um I remember like it was like August, and I was skimming through this kind of off topic, sorry. I was skimming through Biden videos, like watching him speak, and like really watching him speak, okay? And like I'm not everyone else where I'm like, "Oh, he's just a brainless idiot, blah blah blah." I'm just like I'm really like sitting here, I'm watching the videos and I'm like even if they cheat, there's no way. There's no there's no way this guy's going to be our president, right? That was like August. And then
Hmm.
like fucking everything just kind of started snowballing, okay? And the riots were just only getting worse or, staying constant. And, everything that was happening, Kenosha the month before, then Jay, and George Floyd started all this. Minneapolis burned first, you know, and like I'm like, dude, they they're really gonna get away with this. Like this is all a big psyop slash manipulation, like coercion, like just making us think, just go along with it. Yeah, think that your guy's gonna win. Think that your guy's gonna win. Like they literally let that guy stay in his basement the entire time because they knew that Trump would speak with a solid tone. He'd have backbone, and they knew that he was a man and he'd stick up for himself. And they just let him talk, and they let Biden hide in the basement. And they knew that they'd get enough votes that they could do their little half-ass cheating scam and get enough to win. Okay, but here I am in August, like, there's no way we're ever gonna get to this point where they're gonna. And I really thought, this is what's even crazier. I thought there was no way in hell they were taking the Senate. I thought there was
Yeah.
no way in hell. I said, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way they're gonna take the Senate. And what do you know? What do you know?
Yeah.
What do you
I
fucking
I
know, dude? And not only did they take the Senate, but Biden cheated and won. And then it's like they used the same voting machines that were known to have problems, that were known to switch votes to the other party, that the same ones they've been using, okay? The same ones that stole the election, they used in the Senate race, okay? And I'm sitting here on the sidelines like, damn, like, good thing I didn't bet on this, Like, I mean, would it have taken people to bet money on it for people to realize how fucked up it was? You know what I mean? Like, we let that.
I'm sure I'm
They
sure
take.
people did bet. I'm sure people who knew bet. I'm sure the people who knew what the result was going to be because it was fixed bet. That's how the mob does it, right? It's fixed. They know what's going to happen. And what's amazing to me is that there's nobody to keep them in check, right? They have everything. They have the DOJ, they have the FBI. There are some people in lower levels of the FBI that are trying things apparently, but nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to come down. I think it's going to come down to a handful of states versus the feds in court.
You think
I
it's
know the
gonna be a
Arizona
karma thing? You think it's gonna
karma
be,
thing.
yeah, like a karma thing? Like you know what I mean? Like, damn, you guys really got away with this much. You guys really couldn't cut it off. Like you just had to keep going, huh? You said a little more, a little more, a little more. So you think like eventually it's just gonna be like something's gonna bite him in the ass, or what? Because I mean, how much longer can they continue on acting like this? How long can the media portray a narrative that doesn't exist? How long can Black Lives Matter burn cities down? how long are you going to allow Antifa to defaction themselves into other smaller little groups like Indigenous Bloc? And you know what I mean? Now they're growing in numbers. Like, okay,
Well,
Antifa, BLM still exists. How
as
long
soon
is
as soon as they lose control, they'll shut them down. They're already arresting people for crimes committed back in May. And I don't know if you, I mean,
uh
they did some pretty messed up stuff. Like the night Rebel was stabbed. Not only was Rebel stabbed, but when I went up to the hospital to visit him, like I didn't find out until 2 hours later. I think it took me another 2 hours to get up there. I was waiting in the emergency room, and there was a Homeland Security, and I was running security for a journalist whose name I won't mention, but I was dressed up like Antifa, and he saw me come in there, and I saw him, and he kind of locked eyes with me, and it took him a second, and I talked to him, and I talked to him a little bit more, and finally I said, "Yeah, I was doing security for a journalist down there, and it's crazy. I can't believe what they're doing to you guys." He says, "Yeah, my friend, not just my fellow companion officer was in here. My friend is in here because one of those mortar rounds that they like to throw as grenades landed and exploded within like a foot of his friend and did some internal damage to his organs. So he got third-degree burns all over his chest, went right through his uh, whatever his equipment and his clothing and stuff. He's in the hospital for that. And I think I think what will happen is some of these charges, some of these more extreme ones, like whoever threw that grenade, they can find them. They will start to settle them down. And only a little bit, though, because they're going to need them again here in the future. These riots started, I think it's worth mentioning, these riots started at like, well, they started at the end of May, right? But in the beginning of May, Joey Gibson had me going to these anti-lockdown events that were garnering 3, 4, 5,000 people's worth of attention in person.
yeah,
Right?
that's
People were bringing
nuts. Yeah, it's
people who
nuts.
owned restaurants were
Yeah,
bringing their trailers out.
yeah,
And what would slow our momentum? What would slow the momentum of anti-lockdowns more than our entire city burning down? Oh shit! Now we have a new enemy to fight. Now we have to
yeah,
get these Antifa out of here.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get them out of here before they keep killing. Before they kill somebody else. Before they
Distraction.
burn my business, my closed business to the ground, and I have nothing. So I'm not saying that they necessarily had there's collusion there, but it sure seems like it.
Hey, so I guess Villain wants to join in on us. So,
Yeah, let's have Dylan join.
hell yeah, I want to talk to him. So let's get in here with him.
Oh, he literally just texted me. How do I join this video?
Okay.
Yeah, call him on Discord.
Why don't let's see. I'm trying to think about what would be the easiest way to do this. Can I add a call to this?
Let me see.
Shane, turn your camera on. Add friends to DM. Video.
Wait, it says I can invite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, invite him. Do you have him on Discord?
I don't.
Okay.
Do you know what it is? It's
Let me
like villain report something.
hold on.
Villain, if you're listening, text me your tag and I'll add you. Obviously, he's listening. He's talking to me.
Yeah.
Can Chandler share the conditions and treatment he received in jail by the jailers and law enforcement? Yeah, it was. I mean, it sucked to be in there. The food was terrible. I lost almost 15 pounds because I could barely eat anything. Everything was cold. It sucked. But as far as the way the COs treated me, most of them that I had actually gotten to talk to were on the same page with me. They're sick of seeing their rights being taken away from them. They're not happy about their position. Um, Nobody really singled me out or tried to make me a problem. A couple of guys were really aggressive, but nobody did anything wrong to me. Nobody mistreated me in such a way that was, uh, that would be considered unlawful or anything. Okay, I need your tag, Dylan.
Yeah, send him
He,
a villain.
he sent me an invite. He sent me an invite to his page, but I need his tag.
Yeah, villain, send your name with your invite number on Discord to Chandler. We need it has to be your name and the numbers.
Yeah. He sent me the invite link, and of course he sent it to my other phone, so which I don't have Discord on, so I've got to download that and then find out if I still have that password. So this will be fun. So I don't know. I don't know what exactly the answer is. Just keep the conversation going. I don't know what the answer is. What we do in the meantime here, because it looks to me like it's just going to be a straight downward spiral for the foreseeable future until we can get this into court, and that's assuming we have good judges, which in a year's time we might not. We might have worse than Obama era judges.
Figured I would play a video in the background while we talk. This isn't a very good one though. I'm gonna have to find some videos tonight of the destruction in Portland specifically. What do you have to say to these little Antifas that say nothing's burned in Portland? What are you talking about? We never burned anything in Portland. What are you talking about, Jake? You don't know what you're talking about. You haven't been out here. You don't know. We didn't burn anything in Portland. We never caught anything on fire. We never blew any holes in the federal building. What do you say to that, Chandler?
I was down there, and you can't gaslight me. I watched that happen. I have hours and hours of my own video that quantifies that, but also, there are any number of journalists who have recorded you throwing explosives at police officers, at federal police officers, burning buildings. I saw a bomb go off in a bank once, actually, the first night that it happened. I was actually getting ready to go to sleep. I'll share this story real quick. I was getting ready to go to sleep. It was like 10 or 11 at night, and Joey Gibson calls me. He's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm going to bed." He goes, "Portland's on fire, and you're going to bed?" I was like, "Oh, well, I guess not." And I don't know, half hour later, I was down there, and the things that I saw just that night alone blew my freaking mind, man. I don't know how.
No, they never burned anything.
Yeah, I never burned anything.
They never looted any of the stores downtown and broke all the storefronts and looted everything out of them.
Jewelry store, I watched a kid, maybe 16, 17, 18 years old, a little skinny kid, his arms full, like you would carry a baby, just full of jewelry, dropping thousands upon thousands of dollars of rings and necklaces and any manner of things on his way out, dropping probably tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. They robbed everything. I watched it happen with my own eyes.
No, you were just imagining.
Yeah. Did I imagine you murdering my friend too? Did I imagine that?
Yeah, well, they think, this is how fucking sick they are. Okay, this is how sick these people are. All right, we're sitting over there. I don't remember where we were, in Portland somewhere, and they're talking about they're literally talking about how. Oh, I remember. It was the night I was sitting out in front of the JC in a rental car, and John the Lefty come up. And he's talking to me, right? He's like trying to explain his views and yada yada yada. And he goes, "Well, there's new video out about Jay, right?" I said, "Oh yeah, what video is that? Which video is that? Because I think I've seen them all, and all of them show your little boyfriend Michael Rinaldi pulling a gun out and shooting Jay in the fucking chest." Well, he pulled his bear spray out and they thought it was a gun. I said, "Yeah, bear spray looks like a gun, huh?" Okay, all right. So let's say he had let's say he had maced people that day. Let's just say that happened. Okay, is that grounds to get shot? That's how fucking sick they are. Because these people thrive off devastation and illegitimate purposes. Literally, they thrive off that. Those are and fear.
Well, remember,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting, dude. And like, I watched it happen. Like, And
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Because they don't have any real grounds to stand on. They have no ground, so they have to fabricate everything. And yeah, Jay had his bear mace, but in that new video, the one that that leftist media company came out with,
Picking up my voice.
There he is.
there he is, man.
Villain report, you guys. Welcome, Villain.
Coming over my headphones.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear both of you guys.
Yep.
Really quiet. It's just it's a phone call. I can't.
I can hear you.
Antifa sucks.
Yo.
Yeah, they've maced me so much. I've been showered in that. I mean, I've literally been dripping with bear mace. I don't want to sit there and complain about it.
What's up? How you doing, Villain?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Taking it a day at a time, brother.
I haven't heard from you in a while, my friend.
Yeah, I dipped out for a while, man.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, especially after what you fucking witnessed.
Yeah.
Well, fucking, what's up? What have you been up to, buddy? Hanging?
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Got a cheap cycle, and I'm gonna go right across the country and chill out.
Hell yeah. Good. Go enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
You want to talk about anything that happened that day? Are you ready for that yet? No, I mean, you don't need to.
On my YouTube that day, but when I do a recap of it again, I'm gonna add like video that I have. I don't have any video of the crazy stuff. Well, it was all crazy that day, but not any of the deaths or anything. The government stole that video out of my phone. But that was insane, man. The reason why it's been bothering me so much is that like I'm in this place of like soul searching and trying to figure out what I truly believe, and I'm tired of seeing everybody hurt each other on both sides. There's been some shenanigans, bad behavior on both sides. Obviously, way more on the left and the Antifa that are rioting for months and months and months. But I've seen a lot of patriots do silly nonsense as well. But
actually, I'd like to talk about that too, because I sit down. I mean, obviously, all the leadership, all these groups around here, we all know each other. And I sit down with a lot of these guys, and they're telling me we need to, like, literally, that we need to adopt Antifa tactics so we don't get arrested. And I'm like, man, I don't do anything that I feel I could get arrested for. I mean, I was fully within my rights on the 21st, even for what they did ultimately arrest me for. But I don't do anything that I'm not. I wouldn't be afraid of anybody recording anything that I do. Right. So adopting an Antifa tactic, like always being masked up, doesn't seem right to me alone, not to mention any of the other things that they've talked about, destruction of property or whatever. And I won't say who specifically, obviously, but just the fact that our minds are going there, that people are leaning in that direction, like we need to retaliate in the way that they're attacking us is wrong. It's the wrong approach, just bar none, period, end of story. And it's a hard message to drive when so many people have lost so much. They've lost their businesses, they lost friends, they've lost, I mean, you name it. So I wonder what the solution is to that. How do we curve that momentum away from being violent and misbehaving in the way that they are? Because let's be honest, what they've done to us merits some form of retaliation. It does, if nothing else, just to get them to stop. But it certainly isn't violent. So what do we do?
I don't know, man. I've been calling for months and months and months and months for just massive numbers of people to just show up in great numbers and just stand there and be peaceful and let the politicians know that we have a voice and we're willing to use it in a productive and constrained way. But almost every event I'm at, people are picking fights and provoking things. Everybody's got their different opinions, and most people are really appalled by what happened at the Capitol. But there's one thing that I don't think many people will disagree with. There was an office looted at the Capitol that day. Right after the Great Push and the deaths, the trampling deaths, I can confirm one, but I think I saw more than one because they're still being very vague about the details of what happened that day. But they broke into a window next to the entrance on the back of the Capitol, and they were looting office furniture. Like a lady walked off with a 6-foot lamp, another guy walked off with a big old ottoman, and they were just looting the whole office out the window. And
That's
uh,
crazy. Are you
it
kidding me?
was. I'm
Does that
not.
see? Does that sound like conservatives to you though?
No,
That doesn't sound like anybody that I know.
no, no.
Like when I heard they took Nancy Pelosi's laptop as evidence, and I haven't confirmed if that's true or not, and I heard they took files. That sounds like something somebody might be inclined to do. But stealing furniture sounds like, man, let's send some of our guys in there and make them look bad.
Well, all three of us have been in situations where mobs are acting, and there's like hive mind, and people just start acting weird in those hysterical places.
And
Hey,
that's,
hey,
I
I
guess,
gotta
you know,
hold
that's
on. I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you. You were there, and you won't bullshit me because you're a truth seeker. Were, I mean, just be frank. Were those conservatives or Trump supporters or people of the right that were taking property and or destroying stuff? And I'm not talking about the front Capitol doors that they smashed in. I'm talking about the destruction that happened inside the building and stuff. Like, did the people coming out even? Like, let's not even talk about inside the building or not. Let's just talk about the people going in and out. The people that were doing wrong, did those look like your atypical Trump supporters, Republicans, conservatives, whatever you want to call them at this point?
I wasn't on the first wave. The first wave is where they entered the front of the Capitol and they were being waved in, and everybody entered the building. I was there filming the second wave, and just so anybody that's watching, I was there in a filming role. I was not taking part in the rioting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
committed no violence. I had press credentials. I was there in a legitimate press capacity there. I couldn't live stream because of the weight of all the cellular use on those towers, and because the towers around the Capitol are weird. Like your cell phones don't work normal around there. But
yeah. Well, and I'll testify to that too. I've been to any number of events with Villain. He's never participated in
Yeah,
any kind
exactly.
of political action. So anyway, moving forward, yeah. What's your opinion on that?
So on the second wave, you got to remember there. Me and some of my friends have looked at some of my footage and estimated that there was at least one, possibly upwards of 2 million people at the Capitol. Like there was a sea of people for blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. And the majority of them, almost everybody was talking about the Constitution and patriotism. There were some religious Christian types, a very small minority that were focused on that. There were some Q types. There were like more like freedom militia types, very, very small percentage. But out of that 1 to 2 million people, only around 200 to 300 people were actually engaging in combat with police and doing any sort of violence. But yes, most of them looked like conservative Trump supporter types. At least they were appearing that way. There were maybe a handful of people I saw that just stood out like sore thumbs. There were a few people in black bloc. Most of the people that were engaging in any kind of combat or breaking windows or trying to break the police line and get into the building were not messed up. So who knows? If you watch a lot of the videos that are happening, there's a lot of strange stuff like Jaden X, John Sullivan. He's flat out an Antifa provocateur, and he was there, and he's been released from prison for some reason, and
while Rufio's locked up, he's just been extradited to DC.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff, and I think I don't know what the truth is about that day, but I do know that anybody that tells you that you shouldn't consider the idea that that was a false flag
is gaslighting you.
Yeah.
Because at very little, at the very least, that's a question that is reasonable to ask and find the answer to.
We
Yeah.
were talking about that earlier about, just there are questions that are reasonable to ask, with what happened with the election, with this, for example. And I think you said earlier something stuck out about, gosh, what were the words you used? Oh, it's not unreasonable also to think, with the hive mind, the mentality that people get. If you have one, whether it's an Antifa provocateur or maybe somebody just gets a little bit ahead of themselves and they get a little excited and go do something like smash a window, and people are in that mob mentality, especially now with this last couple of generations of men, they tend to just be followers. And it's not beyond the scope of possibility that, once a window was smashed, that these people who maybe were Trump supporters did get excited and did, allow themselves to be sort of, fueled by that. And momentum begets momentum in these sort of situations. And
Yeah.
maybe it really was a lot of Trump supporters that got involved in that, and that's too bad to hear. But it's certainly not beyond the scope of possibility either.
And one thing I'll say is that I saw no vandalism, none. There were a few windows broken, but they were broken with the purpose to make entry. It wasn't just like walking around and breaking things and vandalizing things. And I saw no police officers get attacked for the sake of attacking police officers. They were trying to push through the police line, is what I saw. There at one point there were 2 police officers that got dragged out of the corridor that was entry into the back of the Capitol, and they got grabbed in the crowd, and there was a very few people, like less than 10, less than 5 maybe, that were trying to provoke violence and just beat them, and they didn't get beat. But then the majority of the crowd stopped them and was saying, "This isn't who we are." They were back to blue flags. Like there's this one little segment I have, and there's a back to blue flag right by this officer that's getting dragged into the mob. But they eventually, the crowd overcame the bad actors and returned those police officers back to the police line. But there was no just blatant attack on cops. There was no just random vandalizing. The only thing that was completely ludicrous was the looting of that office room.
And so you would think maybe with a mob of several hundred people, maybe several thousand who entered the Capitol, with whatever intent, that if the general sort of energy that was going on was loot and destroy, probably it would have been more than one office, right? And that's what makes sense to me. When Antifa goes and destroys a building locally,
Yeah.
they destroy the whole
So
building.
let's just make sure again. So the people that entered the Capitol were in the first wave, and that was those, I don't know how many, dozens upon dozens, maybe hundreds, definitely not thousands of people
Okay.
that entered the Capitol and were walking through the halls of the Capitol. That was in the first wave from the front of the Capitol. That was shortly after Trump started speaking. The back of the Capitol is what faces the Washington Monument, and where Trump spoke at the Ellipse, and the crowd near the time of Trump's speech ending, the crowd was starting to get pretty big over the back of the Capitol. So, and then that office room that got looted, that was on the back of the Capitol during the second wave after the trampling deaths. One definitely, possibly more. That was a window on the outside of the back of the Capitol to the left of the archway entryway. They broke those windows and entered into that office, and that's where they started looting office furniture out of. What are you going to do with an ottoman? Like, what are they going to do with the ottoman? What's the point in that? But at the same time, like, I will
Hey,
I will never forget that feeling in my life. Go ahead.
I bet, dude. I bet.
There was 1 to 2 million people, and
Yeah, I mean
while there was dozens
that's
of people
nuts.
pushing through the police lines, there was like a sea of people waving flags, and they were all in unity. And the unity there was Like people legitimately believed in that crowd that the government had become tyrannical and were not listening to them anymore. And they legitimately believed with that 1 to 2 million people outside the Capitol that they had overcome and they won. And the government was no longer going to ignore them and no longer going to tyrannize them. I cannot describe it in words other than it doesn't grasp what it was. But nearly the entire crowd of that sea of people like was filled with elation because they felt like they'd been tyrannized and they felt like they had overcome them until a couple hours passed and the energy started dying and more police started showing up and the crowd started dispersing. But at the height of it, it was one of the most, I don't know, intense experiences I've ever been experienced in my life. It was like 1 to 2 million people, all in unity, and it wasn't an attack. It wasn't hatred. It wasn't racism. It wasn't. They keep trying to say
Yeah,
that
that is
they were trying to
insane.
they
That is
keep trying to say
insane.
that they were trying to kill congressmen or they were threatening
Uh,
to kill congressmen. Maybe you can catch one or two or a couple people on camera doing that. And there was a guy with like a noose and a gallows that he built, and he was out on the back of the Capitol area. But for the
Sounds
most
like more
part,
like
I
he was
think,
trying to make a point.
yeah,
yeah, I
statement.
think
A
that guy was
statement.
threatening. There were a couple, like who knows if they were agent provocateurs or actual people, like the guy that was in the bartender that was in the black ops outfit, and he had the zip ties on his hip, and he jumped down from the balcony inside the Senate chamber. Like who knows what the truth about that guy is, but the idea that I won't even get into Ocasio-Cortez and her lies. Oh my God! But
Yeah,
the
I
that's
was
idea
just
that that
reading
crowd
that.
was there
that's disgusting,
to
man.
the idea that that crowd was there to kill politicians is just ludicrous. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, well, they'll say anything. These people have no bounds. Nothing is sacred to them. They're just. I mean, I don't know people that are that way. It sounds like that's just demons coming out of them. I don't know how else to describe it because people can be rational. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this in my life where they have literally no boundaries at all. They will just make up anything over and over and over again, and now they have the media to back them.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper, you just like had an article or it was being quoted about how he was comparing Trump supporters um,
He's talking about
the
Rwanda
yeah,
genocide.
Rwanda and the
Yeah,
other
dude.
genocide in Bosnia. The
Yeah.
Rwanda and Bosnian genocides, and that's
Nah.
what Trump supporters are. Like,
No.
come on,
No.
dude.
No.
If
No.
there's a genocide happening, they're killing us, man. How many Antifa have been killed by Trump supporters this year?
Yeah, right.
Hmm?
Exactly. Well, it depends on which source, but 35 to 40 in the last year. Hey, Villain, did you see any Trump supporters mace or intentionally attack or use any weapons to attack police officers? Like deliberately go out of their way to
Yes,
really?
yes. There's plenty of video
Okay.
of it. The officers and the citizens were spraying each other back and forth. That's why the trampling deaths happened in that
Yeah.
corridor. I'm not sure who initiated it. It may have been the citizens, but like the worst macing I've ever seen in my life was just and I don't know if you've seen the videos. The cops of the Capitol Hill had like 3 or 4 liter like gallon like little tiny scuba tanks that shot like a 1 inch diameter of mace liquid. Like
Oh,
Really?
oh,
like
that's awesome. I talked to the guy up here at X Products in Vancouver. He's got some flamethrowers that are really cool. And after I talked to him, I got to thinking because probably you don't want to bring a flamethrower to a protest, but I wondered what would happen if you filled one of those things with pepper spray. Yeah, with
yeah,
capsaicin.
yeah, the cops literally had 3 to 4 liter size like tanks full of spray that they were just hosing people with, and the citizens uh, stole several of those. They also stole a bunch of they got their shields. There was one point where like a hand railing got ripped off of somewhere, like a 12-foot metal coping handrail. I was using to like as a battering ram to get in the building past the cop line. Yeah, that's how the trampling deaths happened. Both sides were macing each other so intensely with all kinds of mace, and I almost died too. I couldn't breathe. My vision went all the way down to pinpoint. It was all black. Closed my eyes and tried to like zen, and I barely made it. A guy next to me passed out, and his head just went over because it was so sardine packed.
That's
That's how
insane.
Roseanne Boyland, I believe, how she died. She passed out from not being able to breathe, and then everybody couldn't breathe and couldn't see, and they started trampling each other to get out. And yeah, definitely. There's even I have
It's
a little
crazy,
clip of
man. That is
somebody.
absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah,
Makes me wonder whose
somebody.
fault it really is, because if they sprayed her and she hit the floor because of that, and then she was trampled,
Yeah,
I mean, wouldn't it be the fault of the person who sprayed her?
right.
I don't know if she actually got sprayed or not. Like, I never got directly sprayed. It just that corridor was so filled with mace that you just could not breathe. But there was also a point I have on video where the crowd is sending up a sledgehammer, like a full 8-pound full length sledgehammer up to the cop line.
That's Jesus. That's absolutely insane, dude. What
Yeah.
what were you what the hell was running through your mind while you're standing there and this is happening? Like, what do you
Before that got super intense, I was just in my normal villain mode. I was really excited because like it did seem like the I was watching like the populace of America rise up and say we're not going to be tyrannized. But then how I ended up getting into the fray where the tramplings happened, and I almost passed out and could have got trampled myself pretty close. I got the perfect film spot. I got up to the edge of the archway that enters into the corridor that's the entry into the back of the Capitol, and I was filming from there. I was on the edge of the wall, and I could film inside the archway and I could film outside the archway. And this giant guy, some man, came up behind me, grabbed me by the shoulders from behind, and said, "You're going in there. Get in there." And he pushed me into like what was basically like a really intense mosh pit, and I just there was nothing to do after that. I was just sucked into the corridor. There was it. I don't know if you guys have seen
That's
video of
insane.
like when they're saying heave ho. There are dozens and dozens of people just squished together. Like I said, the guy next to me that passed out, and several people around me passed out, but there was nowhere to fall. Their head
Yeah.
just went over.
Yeah, right. That's wow, really.
Yeah.
Like they were just propped up by each other being smushed in together so tight.
Yeah,
That's
like I've been to
insane.
a lot of concerts in my life and a lot of really intense mosh pits where you just squished, and like sometimes you're right against the stage and you get squished so good that it's like you start like having a little hard time breathing. You're squished so bad. This was way worse than that. Like my body hurt from the squishing, but I also got jumped by the crowd after it cleared out, and I um walked out of that. I got the chance to get out of that corridor. Um, I got jumped by a couple guys. I don't really. It was so intense that I don't really remember it clearly. You don't really take memory in those kind of situations the same way. But yeah, they jumped on me and ripped my hat off, and I think they started punching me in like the torso. And I was like, I'm just filming. They're like, I don't care, because they were attacking the crowd. I don't. You don't know who they who are they agent provocateurs? Are they government provocateurs? Who knows? But are they just citizens? Are they Trump supporters? Are they outlaws? Who knows? Who knows? They were in the Trump citizen crowd, and they I was like, I'm just filming. They're like, we don't care. And they're jumping on me, and then I started saying, I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot. And then the crowd got them to stand down off me, and then that's when I found Roseanne Boyland unconscious on the ground. I I don't know if it was because I was filming.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if it's because before I got out of that corridor, most of the citizens had left the hallway, and I was standing there filming, and then it still wasn't safe or reasonable for me to try to go out into the fray because people were getting trampled. And the cop line, there was like 30, I don't know how many. I'm gonna like estimate 30 cops in there, and or maybe more. And they had like several rows of them in that like 12-foot wide corridor, and several of their rows actually passed me because the cops started to come after me, and I was like, no, I'm press, I'm non-combatant, I'm filming, I got pushed in here, and they immediately stood down on me, but then they surrounded me, and at one point I was sardined in the middle of like several rows of cops all around me, like I was in the
Really?
cop line. So I don't know
Oh my god.
so I don't know why I got jumped. It could be just because I was filming and people were attacking filmers because they didn't want their faces shown. It could be because they thought I was with the cops and I was undercover or something. It could be just because it was mob
People
think
are
and
just
everything was so
panicking.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people are just
so
panicking.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, before we get any further, I do want to thank you very much for coming on and letting my people know and everyone
Right
else
on,
that's
man.
watching. No, I really do appreciate it, dude. I am genuinely like curious about all this because obviously like there's one story and then there's, you know, people that were actually there. And I
Yeah.
know you were in the
So
fray of it, so
thanks, man. I don't know if you've known this already. I mentioned it just briefly earlier, but so I was filming on two phones, two iPhones,
yeah.
because I couldn't stream, so I was just recording, and I was recording on one phone mostly, and then taking pictures on the other phone. I was recording 4 to 10 minutes at a time, and then stopping and re-recording again, so I could have smaller files. Every one of my videos is just fine until I got about 12 feet away from that archway. Once I started approaching the edge of that archway to get up close and film what was happening inside, I filmed all through the sardine squish, all through the macing, the passing out, the tramplings. I had my camera in my hand, and trying to find pulses on Roseanne Boylan while somebody else was doing compressions on her. I filmed the looting from that window, and then I finally the looting happened directly after Roseanne Boylan. I told the crowd to pick her up and take her to the police line, and they did. And then I stayed around for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes more filming these people looting that window. And then I got out of there. I was like, my body was starting to hurt really bad, and it was starting to sink in that I just like how crazy that was. I was planning on going to get my helmet and my gas mask to come back and film more, but then once I got away from the Capitol grounds, I was like just overwhelmed by what had just happened, and my body was like really sore too. But anyways, that was a lot of rambling. Everything that I filmed until I got 12 feet away from the archway, roughly, is fine. Everything else disappeared remotely out of my phone.
Wait.
That's a trip.
They deleted it just somehow miraculously. And you weren't
No,
live. You weren't live.
If you guys will remember, no, I wasn't live. I'm 100% sure I was recording files. I checked my deleted files, and it's just weird.
Whoa.
But I talked to several people in tech and several people in other areas of expertise, and they all just kind of laughed and like, yeah, they removed those files remotely from your phone. If you guys remember that incident that happened in San Diego with the Muslim terror attack a couple years ago, I think it was at a bar or something. I can't remember, at a business, or I can't remember. But there was this big old thing about they had his cell phone, and the government was trying to push Apple to give a backdoor for the government.
No. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently later on, after all that news died down, they got it. So the government can go into your Apple phone and
Really?
remotely do things. Yeah.
Really? I thought they never were able to grab it. Wow, that's fucking.
They just killed
they
killed the press coverage on it and then took it afterwards.
Yeah. Think for all you guys that are watching this video or going to watch it later, just think for yourself. I could be wrong on that, but that's as far as what I understand happened. But the phone camera stuff, make up your own mind about that. Like, I have all the other videos until really intense death stuff started happening, and then the videos are just gone. There was probably half a dozen videos in that time period, I think, because I was consistently making sure that I was stopping filming, and while I was in the hallway, I stopped filming several times, push stop, and then record again, and all of those videos are gone. It's not like a few of them are gone. All of them from that point on, and there's no
Yeah.
sign of them in my
Yeah.
phone. They're not in the deleted videos file. Or nothing. They're just gone.
Yeah. It's
I
yeah.
felt like a conspiracy
Yeah.
theorist for like a couple days. Like I felt like maybe I was just an idiot and I didn't film right, but I'm, for what it's worth, I'm convinced that my video files were
I
removed from my
believe
phone
you.
remotely.
Well, I won't mention his name, but I have someone that was there as well, and the same thing happened to him, except they actually got his phone. So, I mean, everything. Well, that's not true because a lot of his stuff was deleted before he even got home too. So I'm wondering, like, I almost want to link you up with him, and you can talk to him. Like, I almost wonder if the same thing happened to him.
It's weird, man.
It's just crazy.
And and,
Yeah, I
and
mean
think about
they
like how strange is it, like our nation's government, the power that they have to investigate things. Why
night
have we
Tom.
not? Why have we still not gotten a straight answer about the two men that died? Like why they died, the
Yeah,
two citizen men.
yeah,
Like why is it still
yeah.
mysterious about what happened to them?
Well, I mean we know
For
what.
several days after after the day, they were claiming that Roseanne Boylan was a medical emergency death.
Yeah,
But then they finally, because there was my report I put out, the New York Times actually mentioned me in my report and confirmed that my story was true. And there was one other guy that was there and spoke out publicly online about witnessing her death. And then it was several days after she died that they finally admitted that it wasn't a medical emergency.
that is absolutely insane. Crazy.
Yeah,
Well, and I mean, we know how he died now. I mean, two of the five we know. One of them had a heart attack while he was on the phone with his wife. Um, they've already confirmed that. I mean, that's not what the news is reporting, of course. But and then obviously Ashley Babbitt, who's shot, and then Rosalind Boylan, who you saw got trampled to death.
who are they saying is the one that had a heart attack on the phone
Kevin
with his wife?
Greason. Kevin
Is that the
Greason.
cop?
No. He was just a bystander, and he wasn't even involved. He wasn't even in the mob, and he was standing by. And from all the excitement, he was on the phone with his wife. He just dropped dead on the sidewalk.
Huh.
Eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, obviously that's up for speculation for whoever wants to investigate it. But as far as like what's actually being reported from a reliable news source, that's what they're saying. So.
Yeah, and the story about that cop that got like bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher. I'll
Yeah.
believe that for a second. There is one video of some guy throwing a fire extinguisher, or it could have been one of those mace cans at a cop, but it hit. As far as I saw on the video, it hit two cops' helmeted heads, and their heads didn't even move to the side when it was like a slow ball throw.
What isn't it
no
kind of?
way.
Isn't it kind of strange there isn't a conviction for that yet? Wouldn't that have been caught on film if somebody was?
Yeah, that's the thing.
You
There
know what
were so many cameras there.
Yeah.
If anything happened at all there, several people have everything that happened on different angles. There were so many cameras there. And that's not even talking about the security cameras that are stationed around the Capitol.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild, dude. Pretty wild. So there was a fifth person. Who is that? Who is the fifth person?
So they're claiming 7 people died now, and I'm not,
really?
every time I hear the numbers changing. So originally they claimed, so there's definitely
When they start mentioning
4
white people,
citizens that died, 2 women and 2 men.
filled with so much
There
fucking
is up in the
anger,
air
yo, and,
about
like, it's
2
the same
cops
shit
that died
over
that
and
day.
over and over and over again.
I think one is
Like,
claimed to have a
you
stroke,
know, and
and one
she
was
always
claimed to
tries
have
to
a
she
heart
tries to
attack.
find a
I don't really know the details on that. I've kind of checked out on all this kind of stuff, but I've also heard that there were 3 suicides since the Capitol event from people that were at the Capitol that day.
That makes me question who it was that allegedly committed suicide, because did they commit suicide or were they suicided?
Yeah, I mean, you got to question that kind of stuff. It's weird.
She has to realize like 80% of Portland and the 80% of protesters
And then
that are
everybody
out there are
getting
white.
sistered. I showed a like maybe a 30-second clip on my YouTube page, the Villain Report, of people trying to breach that entryway, that archway, and there were people walking on top of the crowd. Like the crowd was so packed, and there were people literally stepping on people's heads and shoulders and walking into the area. And it was not something that was going to make it wasn't a favorable thing for conservatives or Trumps. I mean, it's not necessarily. I mean, you can make your own decision about what that kind of stuff looks like to yourself, but it's not a media clip that's going to make them look peaceful and cool. But my Facebook page pretty quickly, I can't remember how fast, got completely deleted just for showing that clip of what actually happened there. It's not even like I didn't have any commentary. I didn't promote it as something good. I just showed like this happened and deleted whole page. That's why a lot of people still haven't seen all this footage. Like there's probably hundreds of cameras filming all that stuff, and rarely is any of it being shown, because I think a lot of people are scared to post it, because I think a lot of people that were filming were there rioting, but I think a lot of people that have platforms are worried to get their platform removed if they just simply show that footage, because a lot of people are getting their channels demonetized just for showing it unbiasedly, or they're getting their channels deleted. I had a stream the day after the Capitol. I still don't know why, but YouTube deleted my stream and said that I was showing violent gang activity.
I saw that, and you were just talking about your opinions, right? Or like how you felt about the situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
it was weird. I can't tell. There was one guy that came up to me in Black Bloc, and he was like a right-wing guy, and he was talking about I don't know how serious things were, and I don't know if they consider they gave me a strike for it, and they said it was a violent gang activity, and I don't know if it was him talking about, I can't remember what he talked about because they deleted it, talking about militia or something, I don't know. Or if it was just simply that I was lighting candles at the memorial for the 4 citizens that died. I don't know if they consider that me paying homage to violent criminal activity or something. I don't know.
Homage. I'm just messing with you. It's hard to say. Here's the thing. Even worse than being deplatformed, people are worried about getting arrested just for being there. The FBI's had this ongoing investigation for, it's been over a month now.
Yeah. I'm not worried.
Terrible. Like,
I mean, there's always a little bit of worry,
you shouldn't
because
be.
Everything they're doing, because because as far as a large portion of the country believes, the government is tyrannical, and they've just like betrayed democracy. So if they're not going to follow the law, like you got to fear like communist governments throw people in the gulag, not because they broke laws, because they don't think right. But I had legit press credentials there. I was legitimately there filming. I did not engage in any violence or any crime or anything. I was simply there filming. So I'm not worried about that, but I am worried about the escalation and the weird tensions and things in our country. Like you're seeing all these people get arrested for, like Enrique Otario got arrested as a hate crime.
yeah,
for burning a Black Lives Matter flag.
yeah,
that's thought crime, because how many times have you seen people like saying "Death to America," literally,
and burning blue lives,
burning an American flag,
burning Blue Lives Matter flags? That's a direct hate crime. I mean, if a
BLM flag's a hate crime, so is Blue Lives Matter or a PB flag or anything else.
Regardless of how you feel about the cops, I mean, you know what I mean. At this point, it's just kind of like the general bias towards the law is. I always like to say, what if let's reverse the roles. What if Antifa had done that? BLM
Nothing
had
would
done
happen.
that.
And that's the problem. It's the bias.
No,
It's rules for thee and not for me.
yeah, and
And
that
that's where the problem is. There's no standard. It doesn't matter if they burn a flag or a t-shirt or whatever the little thing is. The core of the problem, I believe, is that there is a double standard.
yeah, I don't know where we go from here, where one side gets the laws applied one way and the other side gets the laws applied another. And what they've done essentially is they've broke down our structuring that was already crumbling. And people are afraid to show up to wave a flag at this point. You can't get more than 10 people to come out of their house now. You know what I mean? It's like, like the Capitol thing this last weekend in Olympia. I thought for sure there was going to be people to show up, with all the censorship that's been going on and everything. It was a First Amendment rally. And there's 30, 40 people there, 15 of which are press. Left-wing press at that. It just shows it just shows the six if that was a false flag or whatever we're gonna call it conspiracy wise, it just shows it worked. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't
I think
blame people though. I think a lot of people
yeah,
are maybe just pulling back to reconsider things because
yeah,
mainstream politicians are more and more talking about jailing people or prosecuting people just for being Trump supporters or re-educating people. They're like mainstream politicians are openly talking about re-education.
yeah,
That's
right,
that's scary.
yeah, and sending your kids there and yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, well, in
that's
Canada, they're already taking people to these COVID camps. So they can just come and take you for whatever. I don't know what their criteria is to take you, but the reports that I'm hearing are that they're not allowed to contact their families. They're not really telling the families exactly where they're at, just that they're in custody. And of course, I'd imagine they can set that precedent. They can set any other that, oh, well, we need to take you to re-educate you, or we need to take you for this reason, or whatever. And hey, maybe we're just not going to let you out because we've just determined that you're a violent extremist for supporting a political candidate.
It's scary.
It is scary, and I'll tell you what, and this is going to be controversial, but you guys tell me what you think. I believe the next step, if we can't win in court, I mean, if we can't win in court, which like the AZ GOP is suing the I can't remember the board of whatever for not complying with their subpoena and not validating or authenticating the votes. So there are things happening all over the country actually that in the state level, at least on the state level, that could potentially have really good outcomes for us. And who knows, in a year maybe they completely dissolve this thing and we see a real administration come back. Probably not. Historically, it doesn't happen, but you can be hopeful. I think if we aren't able to win in court and we're just past the point where our whole system is permeated with corruption, then the next step is people. I mean, people fight back with force, man. They really it goes often historically it ends up in a civil war. And with that in mind, I mean, maybe the time now for us, because I don't think that there's a civil war going to start tomorrow. Maybe the time for us is to sit back and plan and prepare for what's going to happen in the future and
yeah,
get ready for
yeah,
when they do start coming and really insisting on forced vaccinations. I mean, what are you going to do if you can't go grocery shopping?
yeah. What I'm really scared of is what happens when they socialize food. Then what? Okay, we're gonna socialize. Okay, we're gonna socialize healthcare and medicine and all that. Okay, cool. What happens when they socialize food? What
I think
happens?
it breaks
What
into
ha?
smaller factions. I think there are certain states that will defend their people. If not, I know that there are certain cities that absolutely will, certain jurisdictions, certain counties. I know one of the sheriffs down in Pinal County in Arizona, he's not going to put up with any of that. So there are still, we still have way too many contingencies in place for that to be a problem within the next decade, at least as far as I can tell.
I don't know
I
what to
think
think, man. I'm ignorant to politics. I've always hated politics. I think it's a prom queen, like political theater kind of thing. And the only little bit that I know is just what I've tried to learn and focus on in the last couple months. But I don't know what to expect.
I mean, for $100, I'll tell you this: for $100, you can go into it's called Cash and Carry. It's a restaurant supply store. They opened up to the public a number of years ago. I can get 50 pounds of rice for $20, 50 pounds of oats for about $25, and 50 pounds of flour for $20. There's about 80,000 calories in each of those. And you can go to Walmart and get tuna fish for 72 cents a can, spend another $150 on protein, and you've got yourself 3 months worth of food. It's not going to be a good life, but you're going to have 3 months worth of food for, 150, $200.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got 3 to 6 months of food in storage right now. From the beginning of COVID last January, February, I knew that riots were going to break out. It didn't work out the way I thought I saw it coming. Yeah, you can also here's another little tip for people. Spam is awesome protein that stores for a long, long time. And then chunky soup are not that expensive and they store for a really long time. And it can supplement your bland diet if that ever did, like prepping ever has to be used. You can get a whole bunch of cans of chunky soup in different flavors for pretty cheap, and they make pretty good meals.
Oh, there you go. And then whatever squirrel or cat you can shoot out of the backyard. Get a pellet gun too, by the way. They're quiet, and 1,000 rounds will cost you $20 of pellets.
People are
You can
asking
kill
what I
them.
meant by socialized food. Um, take a look around the world. They're standing in
Yeah,
line in the bread line for their food.
yeah, yeah. USSR. You're gonna stand in
Yeah,
line for turnips and toilet paper.
yeah. So, someone just super chatted, Brent. SCOTUS is taking 4 election fraud cases February 19th.
Yeah, I was just a second ago. The election fraud is actually going to the Supreme Court here in like 2 weeks.
That's
Which is
crazy.
actually scarier to me, frankly,
Yeah.
because we know that the Supreme Court isn't going to uphold the law. The buck is supposed to stop at the Supreme Court. And we know with justices like Roberts in there, it's not going to. And I think they're only having it happen now
But
during Trump's impeachment
what if,
because this is
what
going to be
if,
their way to quash it.
hear me out. I mean, I'm not encouraging this. I am not encouraging this. I'm just letting you know. Don't try and get me banned because I know there's Antifa that's watching. What if he is blackmailed otherwise? Because we all know all these people have secrets. And at some point, those secrets have to formulate out into public. At some point, okay? And I don't know if you guys have heard about his little secret life, but Justice Roberts has a little more going on than being a fake Supreme Court justice. Okay? There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and a lot of other powerful people that are involved in some crazy stuff that none of us could even fathom is even happening. And it's happening behind our backs, and nobody knows about it, and they're trying to hide it. So it's like, what if these people are blackmailed before this actually an actual case goes before the Supreme Court? Okay.
I think we have to really let's completely hypothetically, let's think about that. We're going to go to the press with this information, and I haven't heard what this is yet, by the way, either. So I don't know what's going on in his personal life. But let's say it's something really just a travesty, something that is disgusting and will be appalled by everybody. Let's say it's something truly awful. We're going to threaten to go to the press, which has for at least the last 4 years just perpetuated this myth that the president, the duly elected president of the United States, is a Russian operative, and continue to quash every conservative voice and mouthpiece in the entire that has ever had the gall to step up. I mean, I don't think we have the leverage that would matter. I think as quickly as you can put it out on Twitter and Facebook and mainstream media, it will be quashed. It will be gone. It will be into the abyss. I don't think that we have the leverage to expose someone like that. You're talking blackmail on that level, you need something personal. You need tangible leverage.
Well, I mean, being on Jeffrey Epstein's island and being involved in nasty satanic worships against children might be Might be grounds for dismissal. It might wake some people up. You know what you know what I
Dude,
fear
they haven't
more?
dismissed anybody. They
You know
haven't
what?
dismissed anybody who's done
Well,
that.
well, here's the problem. That's exactly what I was going to say next. It's a matter of if people have the balls to actually show that information and present it in a way to which the public will see and react to. That's the real question. Or is it just going to be another story, you know, oh, Jeffrey Epstein hung himself. That's it. End of story. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the end of that. And like a lot of these people are connected to that shit, man. And a lot of rich elites that funded BLM and Antifa and the Democratic Party and getting you know, Biden elected were involved in this nasty, I mean, I'm going to call it a sex cult shit. Because, I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what these people are involved in. And QAnon, you know, I don't believe in them. A lot of their shit is, you know, wild beyond all belief. I'll be the first to say it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. But here's the thing: is you can take parts of that are true, that we can prove are true, and I really hope some of that starts coming into play. I hope that people start looking at these people instead of as leaders and heroes, and we start looking at them for what they are. They're disgusting bureaucrats that are, I mean, making more money than we'll ever see in our entire life. They fly in private jets. They eat food that we'll probably never eat in our lifetime. I mean, these people are on a whole nother level. So imagine what they're doing in their free time. You know what I mean? Like, and I say that because these people do not have our best interests in mind. If you think Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom and Chuck Schumer and Andrew Cuomo and Jay Inslee and Kate Brown, all these people, you think these people have our best interests in mind? Hell no, they don't. They do not. They don't. And that's why people went to the Capitol on the 6th. And you know who I really pity? I pity the people that don't understand what's going on in this country right now. And I hope you wake up. I hope you wake up. That's my message tonight. I hope people wake up. The information is there if you want to find it. If you really want to find out the truth, the information is there. And I mean, read more books, man.
On President's Day, there's set to be a large what was I going to say? There's a large rally, a peaceful rally at West Palm Beach, Florida, near Trump, to celebrate him as president for this President's Day.
Really? That's great. When is that?
President's Day. I think it's like the 20th or the 21st.
Of this month?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because dates kind of fly in one ear and out the other with me, but...
Yeah, they got me as a condition of my bail. I can't attend any, quote, demonstration. So I got to figure out how they define demonstrations, because I'm going to find myself at like a fundraiser or like a food bank or food collection, something for the homeless, and get arrested for it being a demonstration.
They did that to Tiny too, and I don't see how they can legally do that. Just because you've committed a crime doesn't mean they can take your Bill of Rights away, like your freedom to assemble.
Yeah, apparently they can. I mean, they can also take your. I mean, they can take your Second Amendment.
Well, listen to this, villain. Listen to this. Let's hear what you have to say about this. Okay, so when a patriot went to jail, I won't mention his name. He came back. I had a phone conversation with him. Okay, and he had a conversation with the police officer on his way to jail. They said that they have a catch and release policy as far as protesters go, okay? And they've had it with everyone. That's why BLM and Antifa get on, okay? They get, catch and release. They don't have room in the jails, COVID, blah, blah, blah. You know this, okay?
No, that's not true.
Okay,
Multnomah County Jail is half empty.
Okay, but listen, this is what the police officer said. So I don't know, what the I'm just throwing it out there as speculation, I guess, if you will. Okay, up until the 21st, when we went to the Oregon State Capitol, that was the rule, okay? Then Kate Brown pushed something through, or one of the politicians down there pushed something through, I didn't catch that part of who it was, that if you are caught as a patriot at a protest, they are allowed to hold you on safety conditions because you are a general risk to the public. Okay? So that's why they were holding Chandler. That's why they were holding Eric. That's why they continued to hold Jeremy. And that's probably why, honestly, that is why they're holding
Sweeney.
Allen. Okay? Yeah, Sweeney. What do you think of that? Like, you want to talk about unconstitutional? Like, even if he posted bail, they still had to get the safety restriction lifted.
Well, let me say this real quick, because that stuff, the public safety hold, I had my attorney explain it to me. It's something that's common actually to do if you're a violent offender, particularly like a violent repeat offender. The last charge I got was a misdemeanor, and it was 7 years ago, so I don't know how I
That's what I'm
qualify for
saying.
that. But that's also a big part of how I got the bail went from $100,000 to $250,000.
Yeah.
They went for that safety hold, and they are doing that, and they are encouraging it. Another friend of mine who's arrested for the charges
to
from
one
the same
side
day.
of the spectrum.
Well, yeah, the judge. And I don't know how they legislate that either. I
Because
don't know if that's the general agreement or if that's legislated in the paperwork or what. But he said he had the same judge that I did, and he said that she told him they were going to keep him in for Inauguration Day,
Yeah.
and said something else really like anti-Trump, and she made it really political. So I'm curious if that there isn't some way we can use that in court, because we have the transcripts already. And she did something similar when on my case, the DA said I was a Proud Boy and I did this and I did that, and I led 50 armed insurgents into the Capitol, and just like made this whole freaking thing up. And they said, okay, well, we definitely don't want him out for the 6th or the 20th. So we're going to keep him in here.
Dumb. It's just so dumb, dude. You can't. That's unconstitutional. You can't do that. You can't do that. If you have a real public safety risk, then you can. You can't just generalize and that's the thing, is we'll never be able to prove that. That's the problem. That's the real.
Well, I have the transcripts, and I could make a case. It's going to depend on whether or not the judge wants to hear it.
What do you think of that, Dylan?
Selective political prosecution. It's like another step towards gulag.
Yeah. For real. No, you said it perfectly. So, you know what I noticed, Villain? You maybe not change your views, but you've changed up a little bit since I seen you last. Is it because of that day? Is that what affected?
So?
Well, I mean, like, you just seem like I don't know, more grounded about your views. Like, you're solidifying views, I guess. When you went out there, you solidified a lot of your views that you already had thought. So, and I almost can tell that in like your tone, like the way you say shit now. Like, you're just like very content with everything that's going on. Like, well, maybe not.
Mellow.
Yeah.
And I haven't been around all that chaos for a little bit, but I'm trying to do that. That's what my goal is, because like I personally believe that the election was fraudulent. I personally believe that our government is tyrannical. I personally believe that Joe Biden is uncomfortably connected in making policies and dictating executive orders in favor of the CCP. I think that I personally believe that we're seeing a communist uprising in the populace in America. I think we're moving towards communism.
I think all those things are really obvious if you have a 3-digit IQ.
But at the same time, I want to make sure that one thing that I've seen, it's the most consistent thing that I've seen since last May and all the things that I've been out watching, is that both sides believe what they believe instinctually. They think it's obvious and it's ludicrous to question it. Both sides, even though they believe completely opposite things, they both instinctually believe, and it just seems obvious to them, to where they don't even need to question it. So I want to make sure that I'm not operating on that same level, So I really want to dig into these things. I need to, I'm going to read Capital and Communist Manifesto. I believe I've read that before, but I really want to know that I know that I know that I know, because I don't have that big of a voice, but I do have a little bit of a voice. And even if I had no internet voice and just the people in my life were influenced by me, I want to make sure that I don't influence people to follow their hysteria into harm, because 4 citizens died at the Capitol that day. And while I was at the Capitol, I honestly, on some level, I thought what was happening, a lot of what was happening at the Capitol was good, because I think our government is tyrannical. I think our leaders are tyrants,
Yeah.
many of them.
Yeah.
And so if, like, just not even giving my opinion here, if the government is, if let's say that the United States government is tyrannizing the people, then can you look at anything that the crowd did that day and say that it was wrong? If the government is not tyrannizing the people, then a lot of people did
Committed crimes.
acts like serious crimes that
Yeah.
day.
Right.
But the question is were they addressing a tyrannical government? And that's the question, and things hinge on that. And so
I think
I
they
don't
I
want,
think they are. I think they are. I
yeah.
think that we are facing tyranny for sure, dude.
So at an event like that, where there was this great mob thing, and I see like dozens and hundreds of people that are presenting themselves as conservatives or right wingers or constitutionalists or whatever you would call them, and they were committing very intense actions, and several people died from it. I want to make sure that I'm not just another noisy voice that's adding to the chaos. And so I'm going to take some time and really ground myself, like, yeah. And if I'm out there filming any more at events in the future, I'm not going to, I don't know, I can't say what I'm going to do, but I'm inclined to stay away from interacting with the crowd. Like I told the police at the December 21st event in Salem that they were breaking their oaths very passionately, and I gave them a speech about communism in Eastern Europe. I very aggressively ambushed journalism and asked Lindsey Graham very intense questions at the airport.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good video.
I just want to make sure that I'm not being pushed around by emotion, and I'm being pushed around by my reason and logic. Like when I was thrown in handcuffs in front of the Justice Center in Portland, Oregon, I lost my crap after they took me out of the handcuffs. I lost it. I could not handle how angry I was that they had done that. Threw me and locked my hands behind my back and threw me in a cage for, even though it was 20 minutes or so or 30 minutes, still, like, it just, you took my freedom and trampled on my rights, and I had done nothing wrong. I lost it on a stream after that. I was cussing and F the police and all that kind of stuff. And I did calm down by the end of the stream and retracted a bunch of stuff I said. But I just want to make sure that I'm not getting caught up by this movement. And I want to make sure that I believe what I believe and I know what I know. I don't want to be somebody that's just being tossed around by the chaos.
Dude, I'm really glad you said that. That's really where I landed. Even before the 21st event, that was literally just set up to be my last event. And I mean, I was getting ready to go and kind of do the same thing, because it's really easy to get passionate about, the things that are happening and caught up and kind of swayed by the rest of the movement, and not be grounded and take each step with purpose. Right? We get pushed, we get kind of we get encouraged to do some things that maybe we wouldn't otherwise, or find ourselves in positions where, we take things a little further than maybe we would have. I mean, at least I do. and I really want to make sure that whatever I'm doing it's good and it's godly and it's not something that's just like my own angst or my own passion driving me.
Yeah. I think a lot of people that consider themselves conservative or right wing or fundamentalist religious or far, even people just openly, the rare people that actually say like, yeah, I'm a far right. I think a lot of people that are a lot of citizens are getting pushed further and further right by the insanity and the chaos that they're seeing and the violence they're seeing from the far left.
Well,
And
you can't be neutral anymore is the problem. I had a well, I had
I
a
don't know if
guy.
that's true.
Well, here's the thing. You can't because they won't let you. It's like any number. I mean, every journalist that I knew, or just about, has come to be neutral, and they're like, I just want to report the truth because I see a bunch of right wingers and a bunch of left wingers, and I just want to be neutral. And they end up hanging out with us, and we end up being friends because we can let them be neutral. I ran into a guy at a protest in Eugene, or maybe it was a Back the Blue demonstration or something, and he's standing there in a plate carrier with a Glock on his hip, telling me about how 30 years ago he would have been considered pretty far left. He was, pro homosexuality and pro abortion and all these things, but and most of those views still haven't changed. But because the line has been moved so far, he finds himself being considered right and ends up being able to talk and converse with people on the right a lot more. So he ends up sort of forcibly falling on the right side because he can't even be left, let alone neutral.
Yeah, I consider myself right of center, but man, people call me a Nazi and a racist, and it's just like, how, where are you getting that from?
Well, but
But
that's because they have no argument against you, villain. You're very intelligent, and so are you, Chandler, and so am I. And when they come up to you and you talk all their points down, and all their points don't make sense, they're ass backwards. Their only reaction is to respond in a way that they know puts you down, and it's calling you a Nazi or a white supremacist. That's their only return to your arguments anymore. Has
I
not
don't think that there's a logical path going on there when people are doing that stuff for the most part. I think they actually believe that, whether it's a rational belief or an emotional belief. But I think they actually believe those things. But I wanted to say before we get too far off what we were
maybe.
just talking about is that I'm seeing a lot of conservatives, right wingers, people that call themselves patriots, all that crowd. I'm seeing a lot of them provoke fights and going out and looking for fights and causing fights and instigating fights.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
that's something I have felt that I had to pull away
Antifa does
from
it.
people a lot.
Antifa
To
does
stay
it
away
too,
from them.
though. Antifa does it too, and probably just as
That
much, man.
that doesn't justify us doing it though, and
No,
that's
you're
a big
right.
point I was trying to make is that we
No,
need
you're
to
right.
highlight.
You're right. You're right.
We
But
can't say just because they do it, it makes what we're doing, if we're doing it, less bad. Two
I know.
wrongs don't make a right.
I just want to point out that that's not just a right wing thing, because I mean, just last night I went to a pro life event, and Antifa's across the street yelling over the speaker, fuck Nazis, fuck this,
I
f
watched that.
that, f that, and it's like, like it happens on both sides.
Everybody knows
So
Antifa picks fights.
yeah, but here's the thing: is like,
Yeah, but
you're
now we're
right.
seeing it more and more.
You're right. Like, we're supposed to be the side that is supposed to be civil. We have a code of conduct, if you will. We behave a little differently. We're not animals. So like I mean, I get it. No, I mean, I get what you guys are saying. We kind of need to go back to our roots if we are true Republicans. If we are true
And I just want to
conservatives.
say, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a right winger.
Yeah.
I am politically neutral. I am. I have some conservative beliefs. I have some very radical left wing beliefs. I think the police force in America is not good. I think the justice system in America is not good. I don't agree with Antifa's thinking about it, where they just get to go attack people because they make up racism, and it's nonsense. But I think that almost all of the police in our country commit treason pretty regular, not treason, but yeah, treason. They betray their oaths, and they uphold unconstitutional laws. We've seen that several times. Chandler.
But that's a right wing thing now too.
Yeah, it's actually
You
it's
know,
definitely becoming less
yeah,
politicized.
yeah. I mean,
But
that's
that's
both
something we should
sides.
talk about too, because I don't remember if you were on when we talked about this, but I think a big problem, at least politically, is that we're not we're not confronting the problem. And maybe the problem is that we have an issue with the police. And you could say this is a solution, and I'll say that's the solution. And the rhetoric in the country is that the other person's solution is wrong, and that's the ultimate problem. So rather than us addressing this issue and saying, hey, maybe we need to better vet the people who we install in a police force, or maybe there shouldn't be state police at all, and we should only have county sheriffs, and all of the state police offices should be gone, and they should be replaced with sheriff's offices and have sheriff's deputies who run them. Maybe
Yep.
there's a different solution. And instead of
I-
addressing those things and considering them, we just say, well, no, the police aren't bad, or yes, they are. And it's like there can't be any middle ground. I think that's bullshit. And any rational adult male should can't take that stance. Actually, they can't. If you're rational and you're a man, you cannot take that stance.
Take what stance?
That your solution to the problem is the ultimate problem. The problem isn't the problem; it's your solution to it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if, like I said, if the police are the problem, then let's just assume that that's the issue. Then your solution to defund them, and I'm not saying that's yours, but this guy's solution to defund them, and my solution is to replace them with sheriffs. Then you and I just go back and forth about the problem is your idea rather than the problem, the actual problem itself.
Yeah, while the guy in the middle is just sitting there laughing at both of us.
Right. It's easy to get wrapped up in that, and I think it's a big part of the reason. I know it's a big part of the reason I want to step back. And since it's public information now, I've actually scheduled to get down to Arizona and just go live among some actual people who think like I do, and
Yeah.
kind of enjoy the country that God gave to us. It's not a left-wing hellhole where I'm going to be assaulted for not being a transgender vegan homosexual, gauged ears and fucking shaved head.
On that note, I'm tapped out of energy.
All right, my friend. Well, I do appreciate you coming in. I really do. I'm really thankful I got to talk to you tonight, and everybody
Yeah,
else
bro,
in the
me
chat
too.
is as well. So
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. Glad you're
yeah,
taking your time, some time for yourself.
yeah. Don't be a stranger, dude. Text me.
Right on, you guys. It was good talking to you guys.
All right,
Yeah.
be well, brother.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
All right. All right. You guys have a good night.
All right, man. Jake, I don't know how long you usually run these things. Are there any other topics you want to touch on?
I mean, that's kind of it. I'm just gonna show some videos. I kind of want to, recap on a few things that I had an agenda to do tonight. But you're more than welcome to take off whenever you'd like.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take my dog out. he's been like standing at the door staring
He's
at
staring. Yeah, he's staring at you, giving you
me.
the time of day.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
brother.
In a minute, he's gonna start getting in my face and drooling on me.
Well, I'll say this, man. I appreciate you as well for coming in and chit chatting. Two things. I come back. I want you to talk again on the show. I like you. You got a lot of good points, and even if you're in wherever you're at, we can still chat on Discord. So I want to have you back, and then also, what is your current way to get funding for your trial, your upcoming trial?
I haven't set up a new fundraiser. I don't know what my job situation is going to look like in Arizona now that I'm facing felony charges,
Okay.
which really sucks. But so I've still got the original Give Send Go up for the bail fund, and anything that exceeds the initial whatever limit that we had set will go to the trial. I'm still in touch with John Pierce, who will have him take on the case. He's setting up a bigger fundraiser as well. He wants to help a lot of patriots out throughout the country, including myself. And yeah, anybody who wants to help me out, giving to the givesendgo.com/Chandler Pappas Bail would help out a lot. So now with this, like I said, I don't really know what's going to happen for myself.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. And like I said, don't be a stranger, bro. You're always welcome on my show. So if you have another free night next week, I'd love you to come on.
Yeah, appreciate that. I'll be glad to be back. We'll keep in touch and see what we can make happen.
Cool. All right, man. Be safe.
All
Be
right, brother.
good. Stay
Yep.
out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I barely come up with 25K. I don't know about asking for a quarter mil.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish you the best, man. Seriously. So keep fighting and keep me updated and let's talk again.
You got it, brother. Be well.
All right, brother. Later. Okay. So I'm not ending the stream. I have a couple more things I kind of want to get off my chest. So I guess the first thing is kind of, it's not off topic. I don't know why I say it's off topic, but you know, a lot of the arguments that, you know, at least between me and Antifa in general, we'll just say me and Antifa, usually tend to lead down the same roads. So one of those roads is how they've never committed an act of violence or destructed any property in Portland. They've never, you know, Portland's never burned. You know, and that is, you know, it's typical. I mean, it's a blatant lie, but it's typical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple videos, and I haven't found those yet. I just wanted to warn you, of the destruction that did happen at the beginning of the protests. Okay. It did happen. It's not fake. So when they have this stupid argument of that they never did that, any of that, it's totally fake. So here's one video. This was at the beginning of the protests. They said that they never stole anything. They never yeah, thank you everyone for being here too. Thank you again, Villain. Thank you again, Chandler. It was good to talk to you, Villain. Haven't talked to you in a while, so that was awesome. But the argument, anyways, long story short, the argument always comes down to we've never destroyed Portland. It's always been peaceful. We've never destroyed small businesses. We've never destroyed, you know, this, that. We've never divided the community. The community loves us. And it's just not the truth. It's just not the truth. So here's a specific video. This was at the beginning of the riots in May. I think it was May of 2020, last year, when it kind of started getting real bad. This is downtown when they looted that Louis Vuitton store. So I haven't seen this video. So I know exactly where this is. This is a Pioneer Square Mall, in downtown Portland. It's actually in northwest Portland. And you know, they never looted anything in Portland, Jake. They never looted anything in Portland. They never looted anything in Portland. What stores did we loot, Jake?
Media costs keep rising. It's time.
So that's one video. So this was when they were outside the PPB building, I believe, in Portland, and they actually lit a dumpster on fire and rolled it into the police station and set it ablaze. So this is them. Where here we are again. They never burned anything in Portland, Jake. You don't know what you're talking about. I've been told this multiple times by them. I must have saw a ghost. But here it clearly is. This is just one of the buildings that they set ablaze. I recognize that guy. Yep, here you go. No big deal. Just catching the police building on fire. It's no big deal. Yeah. Just let it rip. Oh, right there. Oh, tee hee hee. Ha ha ha. They never lit anything on fire. They never lit anything on fire. None of the buildings burned in Portland. Hey, Jake, none of the buildings burned in Portland. You don't know what you're talking about. Jake, you're just a chud. Jake, nothing burned in Portland. Ever. What are you talking about? That isn't flames. You just don't know what you're talking about. You're just a big LARPer, Jake. Okay? They didn't catch the police station on fire. That never happened. No big deal. Just the police station. No big deal. Oh, yep. Here's the Multnomah County Courthouse. No big deal. Oh, the Multnomah County Sheriff's actually went down there. Huh. Crazy. So yeah, that was when they caught the police station on fire. And then hold on. So that was 2 separate incidences. And that was just a quick little YouTube search. Nothing crazy. Just a quick little YouTube search. Let's see here.
Each year, Americans waste.
So this isn't Portland, but this is in LA. And here's more Antifa BLM destruction. They like to say that they committed no property damage. So here we are again, actually catching a cop car on fire. Who's got liquor? Who's got liquor, they said. Oh, just catching a cop car on fire. Hey, look at it. He's getting his riot porn over here. Look at him getting his riot porn. He's just like, yeah, I gotta get this. This is the shot of a lifetime, man. Look at this. Look at this. This is a mostly peaceful demonstration, brought to you by CNN. Mostly peaceful demonstration. So yeah, you know, there's that, and then hold on.
You've got a great idea for an app, and you can.
It's been my imagination.
Yep.
So there's that. This is just to prove, you know, like, you know. Oops.
It does appear that that fire is the police station. You can see this now. Now that is.
Oh, here. Sorry. Let me pop open this. Hold on. You know, gotta pop open my artwork. Come on. Gosh. Put this over here. So yeah, pop open that for a little fair use, yada yada yada, for all you little Antifas that are trying to get me banned, blah 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 blah. Okay. Anyways.
That fire appears to be the liquor store across the road from the police station.
They never burned anything though. They never burned anything though, ever. They never, remember how many times I've been told that they never burned anything? They never caught police stations on fire. They never looted, pillaged, divided their community. Nah, they didn't do any of that.
Yeah, I see that. To our viewers, it is the building where you can see there.
So this is the Minneapolis police station, by the way, in case you're wondering. That's what this is, so no big deal.
There's a stanchion that comes out at the entrance, and what appears to have been a fire set at the exterior, to Allie's reporting, may have spread to the interior now. And Allie, that's going to get dicey. And as you keep pointing out, symbolically,
they're just throwing stuff into the fire to fuel it. No big deal. So there was that. That was at the beginning with the George Floyd protests. Let's see here. Queen Bong, thank you for the follow. So that was the police station. There was also this in Minneapolis. They proceeded to burn the entire block down by the Minneapolis police station. That was this video. The entire block burned. Notice all the cameras. Oh, I'm gonna be so famous, yo. Wait till this hits the news, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, you guys never burned anything. You never looted. You never destroyed the community in any way. You didn't cost $11 billion in property damage. No big deal. This is just, you know. And then hold on. We got to pull the famous scene up. Hold on. Gotta pull the famous scene up of oh, here you go. This one's good. This is right here in Santa Monica, Beverly Hills. Here's another looting scene. And while we watch this, I'll pull up the other video of them looting an entire shopping center in Kenosha and an entire shopping center in Minneapolis.
All part of an
mayhem in Beverly Hills
that have come.
I remember this day. This was the Beverly Hills day, the day that big shoe shop got raided, and they had like over $1 million in shoes that was stolen. That's probably fake too, huh? All right, Ryan, you out of here? Good night, buddy. I hope you have a good night.
Have-nots. Jim Murray has the latest.
Look.
Now underway in
No.
Hills.
These aren't people running into buildings that were actually closed to them that are private businesses. What are you seeing?
Mayhem in Beverly
Oh my God!
Hills.
No.
Looters storm the luxury
No. This
clothing
is
store
you're not
Alexander
seeing
McQueen
this.
And make off
You're
with
not
thousands
seeing
of
this.
dollars worth
Nah.
of goods. In upscale Santa Monica, devastating destruction as looters attack business after business.
Hey guys, you see this?
Extraordinary footage shows a woman using her body to try to stop looters, one armed with a hammer, from smashing their way into a sporting goods store. She's violently pulled away in the
Assaulting women too? Oh, BLM and Antifa knows all about that.
efforts, looters make off with bicycles and backpacks.
Yep.
At Patagonia, they flee with surfboards. These
Yep.
looters make their getaway on a
Yep.
motorcycle.
See ya.
Bedlam at this van store. Looters pile out with shoe boxes. Watch this dude slip and fall. This guy grabs a shoebox, then tells a KCBS reporter why he's doing it.
People need to start chaos in order to make their point across.
Yeah. Start chaos to get your point across. I mean, duh, but they weren't looting. They weren't burning. They weren't pillaging. They weren't dividing their community. They didn't kill, murder. Nope. You ain't seeing any of this. This is all fake
To
news.
San Bernardino, DMV.
It's fake news.
Today I'm getting an up-close
here you
look
go.
inside a CVS
Here you
that's
go.
utterly trashed.
Yep.
The alarm at this drugstore is still going off hours
No big
after
deal.
the destruction. And as you look around, you can see this
Probably fake news.
was ransacked, items thrown from the shelves and destroyed.
Yeah, this is just really sad.
Local resident Scott Carlson chokes up as he joins other volunteers who've grabbed brooms and started cleaning up. And look inside this popular sushi restaurant that was set ablaze.
No, they didn't catch any buildings on fire. Inside Edition, you're lying. This is fake news. Fake news. I'm surprised I actually even showed this.
This restaurant should be well on its way to reopening after being closed during the pandemic.
Oh, what was that? Closed before all this started happening to the pandemic, and then you get your storefront destroyed by some punk-ass kids in black, dressed in all black bloc? Wow, crazy.
Instead, this is what
wild, but I thought that was fake news.
the owner comes to find today. Fire retardant on the ground, and the entire restaurant has been torched.
Lisa.
Yeah, Martina Patriot. But yeah, let's just talk about the Capitol, right? Yeah, exactly. Well, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Up. Interestingly, a lot of these small businesses have left messages for the looters that say, "We forgive you. Black Lives Matter, and we remember George Floyd."
Yeah. Imagine having a business that was going to be covered 100% by insurance and you knew it, so you put messages up like, "We support you, Black Lives Matter." Crazy. That's wild. Wild times. Let's see here. There's a real big one. Hold on. I'll find it here. Hold on. Oh, this was the Target that they completely vandalized in Minneapolis. No big deal. You know. $1 million in damage from one store. This is probably fake news too. Yeah, this is probably fake. No big deal. It's probably fake. Just walking out like, you know, no big deal. Just walking out with stolen goods. Look at him. Look at, just walking out with stolen goods. No big deal. Who cares? Yeah, it probably was the Proud Boys, huh? It's crazy. I didn't see any Proud Boys in there. Or 3%ers or any Patriots. That's weird. Weird. That's real weird. Huh. Strange. Strange. A beacon light with words. Spoiler alert. What are you talking about? Hayes, what are you talking about, bub? Hold on. There's more. That was one business in Minneapolis. Hold on. Hold on. I'm not done yet. Not done yet. Hold on. There's a big one here. Hold on. Oh, here's the Best Buy in let's see. The Best Buy in California, not sure where. But oh, the Bay Area, California, Emeryville. Right outside the Bay. No big deal. Just fuck it. We're just gonna go in and steal some TVs. This is when they were stupid still in there and letting people film. Look at all the faces standing here. Crazy. Pamela, thank you for the like on the stream. Appreciate it. I know it's crazy. I see all these Trump supporters around here stealing all this stuff. Wild. All the American flags and Trump supporters. It's wild. This is crazy. Yeah, wow. Look at all those Trump supporters leaving. Or wait, they're not Trump supporters. Ha. Funny how that works, huh? Yeah. No. It's funny. At the same time that they instituted a mask mandate. Look at this. Just people just coming in, coming out. Whatever you want. Grab and go, baby. Grab and go. Grab and go. Just don't even worry about it. They never looted. They never rioted. They never pillaged. What are you talking about, Jake? You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fake reporter. Fake press Jake. That's all I do. All I'm out here to do is spread that propaganda about how they looted and rioted and pillaged for 8 months straight. No big deal. Forget about it. It's fugazis. It's fugazis. Let's see here. There was one more. There's a big old shopping mall, like a strip that they hit one night. Or here's one. The Kmart. That was a good one. Oh, here you go. Philadelphia supermarket. Yep, this is the Philly riots. Looted for 15 hours. No big deal. Forget about it. That wasn't them. That wasn't them.
When she enters her local supermarket to buy groceries for her family.
This is sad. This is sad.
For 15 hours straight, looters have laid waste to the store. Some of them are still inside.
This is the problem.
This surveillance video shows the first moments.
So funny when you super chatted that, Hayes. It says character holding their head in their hands saying incredible.
And this was the scene at the ShopRite today. A heavy National Guard presence.
Everything here wiped out. No meat left on the counters. Look at this. Rib.
It was probably Trump supporters. It's probably Trump supporters for sure.
John Howard went on Facebook to plead for help.
Come down here and help us clean this ShopRite, please.
For an owner that does so much for our community, that gives people second chance and opportunity to work. These are African Americans in this community that he employs, and you destroying this market like this now unemploys them for weeks.
Sandy Brown and her husband own the ShopRite.
Did anyone call the police?
Numerous times.
What happened?
Nobody would come. And
listen to that. Nobody would come. You know why? Because it was BLM and Antifa. Because had that have been Patriots, there would have been people there rounding them up with zip ties. They'd have zip tied everyone up and they'd have gone to jail. Boom, pow, pew. Just that simple.
Me, how this represents getting justice for George Floyd.
The mayor and police commissioner toured the wreckage and were shouted down by local residents who are now faced with the grim reality that their supermarket is no more.
Where are you going to get your groceries, huh? Where are you going to get your groceries? It's really interesting. They destroy the very businesses in which they shop at in their communities. It's crazy. But they didn't destroy anything. They didn't loot, pillage, burn, right? Nope. None of that. No big deal. I'm looking for this really good one. Oh, here you go. Here's New York.
This is Webflow Interactions, the
Here's
only
New
tool
York.
that brings all the animation power of CSS and Java.
This is probably also fake news.
Turned destructive in parts.
You know it's bad when the real news press is actually reporting this stuff. You know it's bad.
This is just a snapshot of some of the damage.
Kate Spade in New York. She probably did something to Black Lives too, huh?
Stores stealing items and clashing with police. Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller live in Soho with what's happening right now. Derek?
Ken, good morning. And amid all that chaos last night, there was actually a shooting at 12:30 in the morning right around the corner from where...
A shooting to go with it to boot. And then here's a car that, you know, just randomly got caught on fire. They've never burned or looted, pillaged, rioted. All peaceful protests. This is super peaceful. It's about as peaceful as it gets right here. That's super peaceful. Yeah. Never burned, looted, or rioted. Never. Funny. It's all patriots that did that. It's definitely patriots that did that. It's Trump supporters for sure. Them nasty, naughty Trump supporters. No big deal. Oh, I guess see what she has to say here.
To be a white ally and to put my body in front of the cops.
Some tense moments.
I attempted to be a white ally. And
A white ally.
Cops, they were using their batons, and a cop just sprayed me. It's my first time being pepper sprayed.
She's a white ally, and she put herself in front of the cops, so feel sorry for her.
And back out here live.
Oh, more looting.
Lululemon at Spring and Broadway. You actually saw one man when we first arrived here who ran into the store and then
Lululemon's not, you know, probably, you know, low end store, right? Not. Probably thousands of dollars and stuff missing. No big deal. They never looted and rioted or pillaged.
Down here, there's still people roaming around the area, so they're trying to get people.
You know, basically this is all just fake news, so, you know, I should just stop reporting it, right? It's totally fake. Oh, here's a jewelry shop in LA. No big deal. Oh, no big deal. This is probably Trump supporters, though. I see all the Trump. Do you see the Trump flags right there? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Trump flag. Whoa. Oh, he's. Oh wait, they're dressed in all black and they have BLM on there. Oh, look at him. He just knew right where he was going. Oh yeah, look. I see the Trump flag right here. That looks like a Trump flag. This one? Proud Boys? This is Proud Boys. This has got to be Proud Boys. Trump supporters, Proud Boys. I can't tell. Maybe right wingers, 3%ers, 1%ers. This looks like a veterans group right here. Oh, yeah. Not BLM or Antifa. No, it's definitely Trump supporters. Definitely MAGA everywhere. That's all I see is MAGA. Crazy. They never looted or rioted, though. Or burned. Fake. It's probably fake. So. Yeah, that's fake. No big deal. Dude's butt cracks hanging out. He doesn't care. He's about to get rich. Look at him. I can't believe they're allowing them to film all this. Crazy. He just throws the rest on the ground. He's like, you guys can have the rest. Reparations, right? All the white people getting reparations. What about the white people that get reparations? What are those reparations for? Dude just he threw He threw his iPad on the ground but kept the headphones. Oh man, I can't. This is crazy. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Susie McMillan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go ahead and let's peep this real quick. This is probably a good one. They never looted and burned though, so just keep that in mind. We've seen this one. Oh, and I just showed all these, of course. Hayes with the $10 super chat. It's coming in hot. He's rolling on the floor laughing. Super hot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, shh. Oh, my God. Oh, this is Portland. This is Portland right here. This is actually Portland. That's crazy. They never looted a riot, pillage, burn. Oh, hey, I have a video that might be familiar to some of you. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, let's see. Hold on. They say, all the destruction, Jake? What are you talking about? We never did anything. We never did anything. We never did anything, Jake. You're just a big lying chud. Jake's just a big lying chud. He's just a big lying sack of chudness. But this is actually my own footage. This is my own footage from Portland. But you guys never destroyed or hurt any small businesses ever. Yeah, 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 yeah. It was never you. It was never you. It was only patriots. Only patriots that stormed the Capitol. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. Yet here it is clearly. I've filmed this. I've seen it for my own eyes. This is just one night of looting and burning and pillaging and graffitiing and defacing property. But it's okay. It's okay, yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Because they never defaced any property or broke any windows or destroyed anything. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. You know it's a lie. It's all a lie. I never saw that. What are you talking about? See what else we got here. That was just one of my streams. That was one night. That was one night that I just showed, by the way. One night. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. This is another familiar night. I know you guys are familiar with this. Hold on.
Direct action.
Yep. And that's just the start of it. Oh, yep. Yep. Nope. No, I didn't see any of this. It was probably another night I was lying. Oh, this was a lie. I didn't see this either. Yeah, that's not hate or fear or intimidation. No, no, no. Oh, here he is again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here they finally get arrested. But it's okay, because Mike Schmidt lets him out the next day. As we all know, all these people that were arrested this night were let out. And here's the best part. Here's the best part. This was a distraction. The real action was down the street right here at the 40th through 55th and Sandy. They never destroyed anything though. That's probably a lie. I was probably lying when I filmed this, huh? I probably destroyed all those windows. Probably me. Patriot Jake. Yeah, it's probably me. Stupid chuds. Yep. No, this is all fake news. Fake news. Yeah, no, they never destroyed anything in Portland. This was for a, by the way, this night, just in case you're wondering, this night was for, Tuli Gulili, or I can't even say her name. Her decided, to hang herself, and then apparently that the police investigation wasn't thorough enough for them, so they decided to riot and, break glass and, spray paint. So, this was probably fake news too. I probably just didn't know what I was doing, and just slipped on the camera, put a little Sharpie on it. I probably put BLM on my lens. It's probably just made up false news. You're just always making up false stuff, Jake. Oh, here we are again.
Like Subaru car, JCX VX, and they had the Smokey the Bear plates.
Oh, yeah. Her. Destroy an entire 15 city blocks because of her. This is still going. This was the same night, by the way. Yeah. It was probably Chud Jake. Probably went down and spray painted and broke all these windows. Probably just me. All the Patriots did this. Because we're such bad insurrectionists. This was one night, guys. This was one night. This is the same 15 city blocks that they destroyed. All that. So, probably don't know what I'm talking about. So there's that. And then, let's see if we have any more. That's not America. That doesn't matter. Oh, here you go. Here's the Chicago night that they ran the Audi through the handbag store, and everyone started running and taking handbags. That was this night in Chicago. So let's see. We have New York City. We have Chicago. We have...
That Chicago police had shot and killed a black child. That absolutely did not happen. Police
So we have Chicago, we've got Portland, Seattle, LA, Santa Barbara, Santa Monica, Minneapolis, Detroit, Philly, Kenosha, other places in Wisconsin. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you did loot and riot and pillage and burn your city. And this is just a couple of the videos. Antifa. This is just a couple of the videos of you guys looting and burning and rioting. Here you are right here with the National Guard. It's probably Patriots though, huh? It's probably Patriots. I forgot. Damn. The Patriots did that. Nazis. Stupid Nazi Patriots. Throwing fireworks at the police officers. Yeah, that was probably Patriots too. Throwing fireworks at them. No big deal. This is Portland. Oh, throwing fireworks over the fence at cops. No big deal. And I like how the news reports it. Portland protesters clash with police. They're throwing fireworks at police officers. It's not clashing. Like, it's part of the problem is the news, I'm telling you. But anyways, you guys get the point. You guys get the point. You get the point. Okay. So there was that. And then, because, you know, Antifa always tells me that, you know, we never did anything in Portland. I don't know what you're talking about. We never burned anything. We never hurt anybody. Like, how far does your guys' nose go, honestly? Okay. How long is this? I don't want to get too deep into this impeachment shit. Holy cow. It's 5 hours long. 5 hours long? Okay. Well, I didn't date stamp this yet. So, listen. You're going to have to bear with me on this one, okay? All right? Just bear with me on it. I'm going to fast forward when it's boring.
Election law at the Ohio State uphill.
You can see in videos or photos free enterprise agenda of the Republic
by the House Judiciary.
or have not.
These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so untrue. You're really posed for us.
Qualify the former
charged with inciting an insurrection, the violent, deadly assault on the Capitol on January 6, 5 weeks ago today. The House voted to impeach then-President Trump 1 week later, and yesterday, the Senate voted 56-44 that the now former president is in fact subject to trial and conviction under the Constitution after arguments by the defense and even many Republicans called rambling and lackluster. So today that trial begins in earnest with the House impeachment managers, essentially the prosecutors, laying out their case that Donald Trump, as president, was guilty of inciting the violence that left 5 people dead and many more injured. And we're told that their presentation will include previously unseen security video.
By the way, Lester is a left-wing nutcase, so don't listen to anything he says. Don't listen to anything he says.
Video that we may see in evidence today will likely be very graphic. We will not be censoring it. Our team is in place. We begin once again with Casey Hunt on Capitol Hill. Casey, preview the day for us, if you will.
Good afternoon to you, Lester, and we expect this to be another incredibly, if not...
I'm going to be honest, I don't care for when the reporters are talking. I want to know what the city or the House managers and the Senate have to say to this. That's all I'm really interested in, honestly. Hold on.
Majority Leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, for the information of all senators, no motions were filed this morning, so we'll proceed to the House manager's presentation. We anticipate 2 10-minute breaks.
This guy's a real schmuck, by the way. This guy's a real schmuck, okay? Schumer, you're a schmuck. This dude's gotten rich off politics.
And a 45-minute dinner break around 6 p.m.
In pursuant to the provisions of Senate Resolution 47, the managers for the House Representatives have...
Here's where I'm going with this, by the way. I just want to say this right now. I got to get it off my chest. Sherry, thank you for the like on the stream. I got to get this off my chest, okay? What really happened at the Capitol? These are my notes, all right? I'm just going to read them for face value, all right? All right? There was 5 people that were killed at the Capitol, okay, that we know of that have been proven deaths for the Capitol riot, okay? They keep saying they're armed. They keep saying the cop was killed by a fire extinguisher, blunt force trauma. They're lying about why these people were killed, okay? We know they lied about Brian's death. They made Roseanne Boylan out to be a some sort of a bad person because of her looking up QAnon conspiracy theories online. Okay, just that in itself is sickening. All right. All the people were Trump supporters that were killed. They all voted for Trump. They actually, like, they have them registered voting for Trump. Okay. Now you have to ask yourself, why would the news be reporting this? Okay, the way it's reporting it. Well, we know why, because they're in the pockets of the leftist elite. Okay, now why are they pushing the Trump impeachment? Okay, well, they're pushing the Trump impeachment because they have fuel from January 6th. Okay, so now stay with me. Think about why they are trying to push this insurrection. It was an insurrection at the Capitol, and people were murdered, and a police officer was murdered by Trump supporters, because then they'll have fuel to impeach the president, who is now a citizen. This is an illegal proceeding. Trump should not be impeached. He is now a citizen. He's not the president. You guys need to get off his ass, okay? This is ridiculous. And that's what this leads up to. This impeachment trial is all about January 6th, okay? And here's the thing. These leftist elites, the leftist government, let them loot, let them burn, let them pillage, as I just proved for the last 20 minutes. I've been showing nothing but 30 minutes, videos of BLM, Antifa, rioting, looting, pillaging, night after night for who knows how long now. You know what I mean? Who even keeps track anymore? It's been over 300 days, okay? And nothing is done. Nobody's made out to be bad guys. Nobody is held accountable, okay? There's no leaders taken down. BLM isn't penalized. There isn't mass arrests, okay? But yet Trump supporters insurrect the Capitol, which I think is in a way is a redress of grievances. In a way. So it's kind of borderline to that. Obviously, everything that happened inside the Capitol is a whole nother story. But the reason why they were there is to hold their government accountable. They believe their government has become tyrannical. That's why those people were there waving flags. That's why that many people showed up. Okay. Somehow it gets misconstrued. People died in the riot. And it turns into this, snowballs into this. It's Trump's fault. Let's impeach him. Again. For the third time. Because everybody, the news again, he's been impeached for the second time. No, this is the third time Donald J. Trump has been impeached. Okay? The first time it didn't pass the Senate. The second time it didn't pass the Senate. And the third time it better be squashed. Because this is unhinged. And they're using leverage. The news is upholding the falsified facts that they're pushing to get rid of his, more than his legacy, just get rid of him in general, the thought of him, the notion of Donald Trump. I don't know what it is, but these people have been pushing this agenda since that day happened. It's been, what is today? It's the 10th. They've been pushing this agenda for over a month. They know it's false. So why are you trying to impeach the president that's gone? He's now a citizen. You guys got him out. You congratulations. You cheated. You frauded our election. You got him out. What are you doing now? Why are we here? What are we doing? Okay? And they're going to lay it out for you today. Basically a couple tweets. Okay? That's what this whole impeachment is about. Again, a couple tweets or a phone call. That's it. That's all this is. It's a continuation of the last two times they tried to impeach him.
16 hours to make the presentation of the case. The Senate will now hear you. And we recognize Mr. Manager Raskin to begin the presentation of the case for the House of Representatives. Mr. Raskin.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, members of the Senate. Good morning. Good day. Some people think this trial is a contest of lawyers, or even worse, a competition between political parties. It's neither. It's a moment of truth for America. My late father, Marcus Raskin, once wrote, "Democracy needs a ground to stand upon, and that ground is the truth." America needs the truth about ex-President Trump's role
You know, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to listen to these people's speech. I'm not going to give them airtime on my channel. Okay, we're going to get to the tweets that they're talking about. Okay?
And it was armed. Here's
Listen,
what Donald Trump told them.
Hold on. Hold on.
Method in the madness that day. This was an organized attack on the counting of the Electoral College votes in joint session of the United States Congress.
Let's see if he says it.
Let's see if he says it. Under the Electoral Count Act, to prevent Vice President Mike Pence and to prevent us from counting sufficient Electoral College votes to certify Joe Biden's victory of 306 to...
They didn't prevent you, by the way, from doing your job. You could have stayed in there, but you're a sissy and left.
A margin that President Trump had declared a landslide in 2016. When my colleague, Mr. Neguse, speaks after me, he will set forth in detail the exact roadmap of all the evidence in the case. My fellow House managers and I will then take you through that evidence step by step so everyone can see exactly how these events unfolded. But I want to tell you a few key reasons right now that we know this case is not about blaming an innocent bystander for the horrific violence and harm that took place on January 6th. This is about holding accountable the person singularly responsible for inciting the attack. Let's start with December 12th.
Okay, so they're blaming Trump for the entire insurrection of the Capitol. Okay.
You will see during this trial a man who praised and encouraged and cultivated violence. We have just begun to fight.
How is that cultivating violence? How is that inciting violence?
He says, more than a month after the election has taken place. And that's before the 2nd million.
Oh, this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard to get through.
Serious violence.
Serious violence.
The burning of a church. And as
a burning of a church. What? There was no churches burned. I think he misworded that. There was a Black Lives Matter flag that was burned off the church. The church was not burned. That was false information from a Democratic leader, none other.
The president forecast it was only the beginning. On December 19th, 18 days before January 6th, he told his base about where the battle would be that they would fight next.
The battle? He told them where they'd fight next, where the battle would be. And why are they highlighting this? Big protests in D.C. on January 6th. Be there, will be wild. Why is this? How is this inciting violence?
January 6th would be wild, he promised. Be there, will be wild, said the President of the United States of America. And that, too, turned out to be true. You'll see in the days that followed, Donald Trump continued to aggressively promote January 6th to his followers. The event was scheduled at the... It
was a protest that was organized by Donald Trump. That's why that many people showed up, sir. It wasn't an incitement of violence.
The precise time that Congress would be meeting in joint session to count the Electoral College votes and to finalize...
Okay, I'm not going to give this idiot any more time. Hold on.
It was a landslide.
The Capitol declaring, you'll never take back our country with weak...
And we fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. Again, not inciting violence, not inciting insurrection. There's no mention of taking the Capitol over. There's no mention of killing anyone. Like, this is a baseless impeachment. Again, this is the third impeachment that is baseless, and this is the left's narrative. They want to cancel anyone that's against them. That's all this is. This is another form of censorship, except this time they're trying to take it to an extreme.
Weakness, you have to show strength, and you have to be strong. He told them to fight like hell, and they brought us hell on that day. Incited by President Trump, his mob attacked the Capitol. This assault unfolded live on television before a horrified nation. According to those around him at the time, this is how President Trump reportedly responded to the attack that we saw him incite in public. Delight, enthusiasm, confusion as to why others around him weren't as happy as he was. Trump incited the January 6th attack, and when his mob overran and occupied the Senate and attacked the House, and
his mob,
he watched it on TV like a reality show. He reveled in it, and he did nothing to help, but not. And if we license America, that's the question before all of you in this trial. Is this America? Can our country and our democracy...
Yes, it is America. Yes, it is America. I'm going to say it. I don't care if it's edgy. This is America. We were founded... I'm not inciting violence. Do not take my words out of context. Do not take my words out of context. This country was founded on violence. Okay? It was founded on good-hearted Americans that cared about their country and were willing to risk everything they had for it, including the skin off their back. Not the shirt off the back, the skin off their back. So yes, it is American. What they did is American. Now, did it help our cause? No, because we have a twisted-ass country that we live in now, where the media wins over everything and the left has an agenda to destroy us. Was it American? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Period.
Ever be the same?
Period.
Raskin referred to as the big lie, that the election was stolen.
The provocation. Oh my God. The big lie. The election was stolen because it was. Stop the steal because you guys were stealing it. Fight like hell to stop the steal. Crazy.
Fraud. Rigged. You will hear over and over him using that lie to urge his supporters to never concede and stop the steal. And finally, you will hear the call to arms, that it was his supporters' patriotic duty to fight like hell. To do what? To stop.
Because we're not going to let this election be taken away from us. That's the only way they're going to win it. We're not going to let it happen. It's the only way we can lose, in my opinion, is massive fraud.
It is the only way we could lose, and we did lose by massive fraud.
After that, he lost.
He lost
the election.
No, he didn't.
But remember, he had that no-lose scenario that I referenced earlier. He told his base that the
I can't watch this.
Finally, the president used this speech.
I thought I was following my president. I thought I was following what we were called.
What? Who's this lady arrested by the FBI? Here you go.
As lead manager Raskin stated, my colleagues are going to walk through the events of January 6th and the evidence in very great detail. They are painful to watch and to recount, and I'm not going to repeat the evidence now. But I do want to be clear.
Why aren't you going to repeat the evidence? This is the trial, right? Or no, I guess this is a hearing.
Again, failed us. Because when the violence erupted, in another, we learned of a tweet in real time while they were in the building stating, "We broke into the Capitol. We got inside. We did our part. We were looking for Nancy Pelosi to shoot her in the frickin' brain, but we didn't find her."
I like how they just straight dox everyone anymore. They don't even care.
And for anyone who suggests
we plan on going to D.C. on the 6th, weather permitting. See, I don't know how these are incriminating tweets. President Trump is calling us to fight, and this isn't a joke. This is where and when we make our stand. So they're just getting anybody who is in the Capitol, huh? It just doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter if you did anything or you didn't, just for being in there. That's a crime during business hours that you guys have somehow closed down because of a fake virus. That you guys now are evading our Constitution due to a virus. I don't think the Founding Fathers would have liked that. I don't think the Founding Fathers would have liked that you wouldn't have allowed us into our building that we own during normal business hours. It's crazy. Wild. I thought I was following my president. I thought I was following what we were called to do. He asked us to fly there. He asked us to be there. So I was doing what I was asked to do. Yeah, exactly. That's all you were doing. Our president wants us here. We wait and take orders from our president. That's somehow inciting violence. It's just wild to me. So they're trying to say this is provoking the January 6th incident. That's just crazy because of tweets. Tweets. That's what it came down to. That's what this whole entire case is based off of. This is what they're saying he incited the insurrection of, huh? This won't stand in court.
Or you're fighting against him.
Arizona Governor Brian Kemp, Georgia. The Democrat Party could not have been happier. They fight harder against us than do the radical left Dems. If they were with us, we would have already won both Arizona and Georgia. Yeah, because these are rhinos, huh? Both these dudes are rhinos.
These are just a few of the hundreds of Twitter statements that President Trump sent. This just wasn't true.
The Wisconsin recount is not about finding mistakes in the count. It is about finding people who have been voted illegally, and that the case will be brought after the recount is over on Monday or Tuesday. We have found many illegal votes. Stay tuned, because they did find illegal votes.
True.
It's also false.
He never found illegal votes.
It's also false. You know, typical news, typical leftist agenda, twisting the narrative. Antifa, BLM does it, all leftists. What are the other tweets they have? Oh, here we go again. American people to help fix our broken election system. As evidence of voter fraud and mishandled ballots mounts in battleground states across the country, the Trump campaign is releasing 2 new ads entitled "The Evidence is Overwhelming" and "Fraud." I don't get what. I mean, this is just baseless. We're going off tweets. Peter Navarro is yeah. This is.
The Democrats are trying to...
Oh, here we are with the Proud Boys again, because they just can't get off the Proud Boys. They think the Proud Boys are to blame for everything.
Anymore. The left lies, they cheat and they steal. They are ruthless, and they're
it's all true.
It's
all true.
By any means necessary.
It's all true.
Take 3 steps back. Move back.
That was in Oregon, by the way. What you just saw, that was in Oregon.
Can't let it happen. Can't let it happen.
A white guy punching a white guy. I don't.
The Democrats are trying to steal the White.
You know what this is? This is a campaign to kill masculinity, guys. This isn't a campaign against Donald Trump. It's not political. It's a campaign to kill masculinity and destroy what it means to be a man in this country. And it's quite embarrassing to watch this, to be honest with you.
These crowds were ready to fight.
Connell, right? 2 people that we...
Embarrassing. Okay, so this is all replay. Nobody cares what Klobuchar has to say. Klobadunk. Pressuring and threatening election officials?
Calling her a felon. On November 17th, the Board of Canvassers for Wayne County officials attacking senators and members of Congress, pressuring the Justice Department, and finally bullying his own vice president.
Bullying?
President Trump
How did he bully him?
Filed 62 separate lawsuits in federal courts across more than half a dozen states and the District of Columbia, including Pennsylvania, my home state.
Just shows how strong that leftist stronghold really is. Look at that. That leftist stronghold.
Of the 62 post-election believed ballot call, which had occurred on January 2nd.
Oh, this is this Kemp? Who is this? This was maybe the the representative of Michigan, or is it Georgia? Can't tell.
Someone's going to get shot. Someone's going to get killed. Mr. Sterling saw what Trump's conduct was fomenting. He warned him on live TV that violence was already happening and that more violence was foreseeable and inevitable. Sterling's pleas were played over and over on every network. Rather than heed that warning, Trump escalated again. In early December, Trump called Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, and pressured him to hold a special session of the state legislature to overturn the election results and to appoint electors who would vote for Trump. A few weeks later, on December 23rd,
this is all they've been showing is statements by him and a couple tweets. That's all this is based off of. The whole thing, another tweet. Can you imagine if the Republicans stole a presidential election from the Democrats? All hell would break loose. The Republican leadership only wants the path of least resistance. Our leaders, not me, of course, are pathetic. They only know how to lose. P.S. I got many senators, congressmen elected. I do believe they forgot. Tweet, tweet, tweet. That's all it's ever been about with him. Okay, well, just as I suspected, they're just using the 6 and propaganda.
Destroy the GOP! Destroy the GOP! Destroy the GOP!
Those words, that was Trump's message. Destroy anyone who won't listen, who won't help them.
Isn't that what tyranny is, though? I mean, really think about what tyranny is. Isn't that what it is? Is when you feel that your voice has not been heard, your government doesn't represent you, they're actually overseeding their rule on you. Isn't that grounds for dismissal? Isn't that grounds for a rebellion? Or no? Is that not our Constitution's no longer relevant, or what?
Beginning, referring to the fight to stop the steal. And then she added, we knew both Republican and Democrats were against
it's just all internet. That's all this. It's all just internet drama. They're talking about a few tweets that he had. Look at. I can't anymore. Nope. Refuse to watch that. Okay. So I do believe that this is just a big buildup, and all the leftist agenda plans are coming together. They have a state-sponsored socialist group, a state-sponsored terrorist group that are long arms of the government. You want to talk about an insurrection? The insurrection began when George Floyd died, and it's never stopped since. We never look back. It's just crazy. Patriots die, and it's no big deal. But, a black man dies in this country, and that's all that matters. And you notice how there's been 3 young black men killed in this country in the last 3 days, actually. One in Seattle, one in Vancouver, and there was another one in help me, chat. Somewhere else. There was 3 in 3 days, right? I don't see any mass riots taking place. Not like in May, not like in April, not like in June. Nowhere near the riots we saw. So one has to question, it's really hard not to believe in conspiracy theories at this point, man. You know? I don't like embracing conspiracy theories, but it is really hard to not believe that there is not a conspiracy theory behind all this, and that all these events are not linked together and they're not interconnected. I mean, they set us up, guys. They set us up, and we took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. We took it all. I don't know how we dig ourselves out of this, man, but yeah, I do know. I do know we have to hold these people accountable that are supposedly Republicans that didn't vote to hear the case in Donald Trump's case, that voted to impeach him just now, that are saying that he incited violence and are going by their constituents' voice rather than their own free voice. Are you a Republican? Are you a Republican? Jamie Herrera Butler, are you a Republican? Do you represent we the Republicans' voice? We really got to start asking ourselves these kinds of questions, guys. I think Saturday's the day that you show up, you voice your opinion down here in Vancouver. I'll read you guys the article. This is where we start, though. There's a rally. Jamie Herrera Butler's Vancouver office, February 13th. That's my birthday, February 13th. Saturday, 2 p.m. Vancouver, 750 Anderson Street, Vancouver, Washington. It is a peaceful demonstration. She voted to impeach, so now we vote her out. And this is the article. Here, I'll pull it up. These are the kind of things you guys want to make change. You guys want to see change in your country? This is what you start showing up to, okay? Be there. It matters. Okay? Be there. This is important. If you live in the area, please show up. Be there. Make it your number one priority. Okay? This is how we start holding officials accountable. This is the beginning. Okay? Rallies like this. Peaceful demonstrations. Okay? Holding our elected officials accountable. Oh, you guys want me to watch the end of that video? Okay, hold on. I got you. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
User posted.
You guys got a timestamp for me?
Media costs keep rising. It's time to try Taboola. Reach up to 2 billion monthly users with Taboola.
Through the pleas from members of the Republican Party.
Someone that looks like them.
Tomorrow to win some more support. I mean,
that the world is watching us, that we have the eyes of history.
You guys, what's the what time? What time on that video? What time? Someone give me a time on the video. Well, I want to see. If you guys have something, let's see it. Because this looks like all Democrats talking here. Yeah, I saw the Times article about them committing election fraud and where the evidence is. Crazy the Time released that. I don't know where you guys want me to go here. You're gonna have to give me a time, because all I'm seeing is Democrats on this. I mean, did Trump's lawyers even get to talk today?
We don't have to guess as to what Rudy Giuliani said in that voicemail because we have it recorded. So let's listen to what the president's personal lawyer said on the night of this attack.
Senator Tuberville, or I should say Coach Tuberville, this is Rudy Giuliani, president's lawyer. I'm calling you because I want to discuss with you how they're trying to rush this hearing and how we need you, our Republican friends, try to just slow it down.
This was the singular focus of Donald Trump during this bloody, violent attack.
By the way, hold on. By the way,
User posted quote.
I want everyone to understand who this man is right here. This man right here, let me get a face shot. You really understand who this schmuck is. This dude is a schmuck, okay? This dude is a lawyer turned politician, and he is a fucking schmuck. That's what this dude is. He is an ex-mob lawyer, okay? He protected criminals from murder cases, okay? There was innocent families that were involved in these cases, and this man protected them. This man is a schmuck. He is a Democrat schnob, and he is a liar. This dude has no credibility in my eyes. It's crazy that they have this dude up on the impeachment trial. Dude's a schmuck.
Was chanting in unison, "Hang Mike Pence," outside the very building he'd been evacuated from. The entirety. That's what our president saw unfolding in real time, broadcast all over television. And this is what he tweeted at 2:38 p.m. Quote, "Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They're truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful."
Yeah, stay peaceful.
Much has been made of the fact that in this tweet, he says, "Stay peaceful." Senators, stay peaceful? Think about that for a second. These folks were not peaceful. They were breaking windows, pushing through law enforcement officers, waving the flag as they invaded this Capitol building. This was a violent, armed attack. Stay peaceful? How about stop the attack? Stop the violence. Stay peaceful? How about you say immediately leave? Stop.
He did say that. He did tell people to leave, that they need to go home. He did announce that, by the way, you fucking schmuck. Another schmuck. Comes to this country as an immigrant. He should be thankful for what this country's provided for him.
Said, please support
Trying
our
to
law
find the
enforcement.
name of this guy. Hold on.
How about he actually support our law enforcement by telling these insurgents to leave the Capitol immediately, which he never did. He didn't. Because the truth is, he didn't want it to stop. He wanted them to stay and to stop the certification. And his failure had grave and deadly consequences. By 2:45 p.m., the warnings were tragically proven correct. Ashley Babbitt was shot by an officer as she tried to break through a glass door to reach the Speaker's lobby. At this point, the pleas to Donald Trump, publicly and privately, grew even more desperate. At 2:54 p.m., Alyssa Farah, a former strategic communications director, begged the president, quote, "Condemn this now. You're the only one they will listen to for our country." Mick Mulvaney, the president's former chief of staff, his right-hand man at one point, tweeted at 3:01, "The president's tweet is not enough. He can stop this now and needs to do exactly that. Tell these folks to go home."
That man's name is David Cicilline. He's a U.S. representative in the Rhode Island's 1st congressional district. Excuse me. He's a member of the Democratic Party. And he is a lawyer, an ex-lawyer, and he defended mobsters, okay, that committed horrendous crimes on our country and people in it. And the
American way. He's saying on Fox News, which the president watches, this is not the American way. Stop the attack. Representative Gallagher at 3:11
Not this guy.
PM,
Not this guy. Not this guy. I'm not talking about this guy. I mean, he's a schmuck too. This guy's a schmuck too.
Mr. President, you have got to stop this. You are the only person.
I'm talking about this man right here. I'll pull up a picture of him. This man right here. This dude's a schmuck. He's more of a schmuck than Jacqueline, whatever that dude's name is. This dude's a straight schmuck. Look, here he is again. Schmuck. Where's the part where they're lying?
And we may have been the target, but it was the brave home in peace until he.
And what, may I ask, is the ruling of the chair? My point was not about whether it's a moments ago by the House impeachment managers. Statements relating to the content of conversations between phone calls.
Okay, this is good right here.
And Senator Tuberville were not made by me. They're not accurate, and they're contrary to fact. I move pursuant to Rule 16 that they be stricken from the record.
Pursuant to Senate Resolution 47, Section 4, parties' presentations are not limited to the record provided for in Section 1 of that resolution. Senator,
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
I couldn't hear what he said.
I appeal the ruling of the chair, Mr. President.
I don't know.
They don't even know what to say.
Mr. President,
These idiots.
Mr. President, right here. We might as well hear clearly what the ruling of the chair was. So if you would repeat that.
Of course, I will. And pursuant to Senate Resolution 47, Section 4, the parties' presentations are not limited.
Yeah. Because I'm a fucking goblin demon Democrat. When these people are confronted with truth, they have nothing to say. Nothing. Every time. Oh, man. These are elected officials.
Pursuant to Senate Resolution 47, Section 4, parties' presentations are not limited to the record provided for in Section 1 of that resolution. The senator from Utah has appealed that ruling. Is that correct?
Yes, I have.
Have you? And the yeas and nays have been requested?
I mean, this guy can't even... God damn it, of course. Hold on.
User posted, quote,
fuck. Damn it. Of course, dude. What's the damn video I was just at? That guy can barely even... It's just like Biden can barely complete a frickin' sentence, and he's in a position of power. Like, why?
I was using Google Analytics and hated it. With Aribi, I can create any...
Chuck, this is all very confusing, and we're trying to sort through it right along with all of our viewers. The challenge here is that, and you summed it up nicely, what Senator Lee is objecting to, which is how this account of what happened on the day is correct.
The question is whether Senator...
Okay, we're going to have to watch this part again.
Pursuant to Senate Resolution 47, Section 4, parties' presentations are not limited to the record provided for in Section 1 of that resolution. Senator,
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
I couldn't hear what he said.
I appeal the ruling of the chair, Mr. President.
He said, I don't know. He said, I don't know. He straight up said, I don't know. He said, I don't know, under his breath. So dude.
Hear clearly what the ruling of the chair was.
I can't.
So if you would repeat that.
Of course, I will. And pursuant to Senate Resolution 47, Section 4, the parties' presentations are not limited.
There you go. It's on now.
Pursuant to Senate Resolution 47, Section 4, parties' presentations are not limited to the record provided for in Section 1 of that resolution. The senator from Utah has appealed that ruling. Is that correct?
Yes, I have.
Have you? And the yeas and nays have been requested for sufficient.
And what is the question? Is it, shall the ruling of the chair be sustained? Is that the question?
Yes.
Is whether the ruling of the chair with respect to
No.
And what, may I ask, is the ruling of the chair? My point was not about whether it's appropriate for them to make characterizations. My point was to strike them because they were false.
The question is whether the ruling of the chair.
She's having to explain it to this 80-year-old LARPing dementia fool that's been in a chair for 90 years, doesn't even know his name. He just wants to eat his oatmeal and go home to his dog, okay? Is this where we're at as a country? This is who's making the choice? This is the runner, huh? This is the guy?
That Senate Resolution 47 applies to this situation is correct.
The question is whether Senate Resolution 47.
Finally, the answer is, like, I'm gonna need a drink after this. I'm gonna need a drink, honestly.
Section 4 is correct. The parties' presentations are not limited to the record provided for in Section 1 of that resolution.
Mr. President, that is not my motion. You've ruled on a motion. You've ruled on something that was not what I moved. What I asked was, statements were attributed to me repeatedly, as to which I have personal knowledge because I am the source. They are not true. I never made those statements. I asked that they be stricken. This has nothing to do with whether or not they're based on depositions, which they're not. It's simply based on the fact that I'm the witness. I'm the only witness. Those statements are not true, and I ask that you strike them.
Here, here.
President.
Here. Here.
Mr. President. So what they're referring to was House Impeachment Manager David Cicilline, who was, it was before they played the Rudy Giuliani voicemail to Tommy Tuberville. This was on the phone call. It was based on a CNN report indicating that he called Mike Lee's cell phone. The president did. And then from there, then Mike Lee apparently handed the phone. This was according to David Cicilline's presentation. So this is basically the moment they're debating right now. We'll take you back.
The yeas and nays have been asked.
Yeah, the yeas and nays have been asked for.
The yeas and nays have been requested.
This guy's got Alzheimer's. He can't even remember what he ate for breakfast.
Let him explain. Please let him explain, Mr. President. Why is it false? What was not false? What was false about it?
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent to answer the senator's question.
Is not in order under Senate Resolution 47, Section 4. Parties' presentation not limited to the record provided for in Section 1 of that resolution. And that has been appealed. The yeas and nays have been requested. The clerk will call the roll.
We can't hear you.
Ms. Baldwin.
This guy doesn't even know how to operate his frickin' mic.
Mr. Barrasso.
Who is obviously watching all this in Capitol Hill. So, Casey, like I said,
Point.
Well, let's listen in.
What is the question? We're not allowed to here. Yes?
Casey Hunt, you want to? Are they waiting? Are they looking for a parliamentarian ruling here?
Chuck, this is all very confusing, and we're trying to sort through it right along with all of our viewers. The challenge here is that, and you summed it up nicely, what Senator Lee is objecting to, which is how this account of what happened on the day, this call from President Trump that had reportedly come in to Senator Lee. The issue here is senators are actually not allowed to speak on the floor during an impeachment trial. You may remember that from the last time we did this about a year ago. They are allowed to make motions. So I think what Schumer may have been referring to there as he was caught on that microphone is that they can't really have this conversation here. There is obviously some confusion on the dais on the part of Leahy, who is presiding, and potentially the parliamentarian as well. It's been difficult to decipher exactly which rule they are trying to sort out. And
whoa. I'm going to need 6 feet, gentlemen. I'm going to need 6 feet, gentlemen. 6 feet. Okay? Put your mask on. 6 feet.
And that voice that you heard there was Senator Joe Manchin speaking up and saying that he wants an explanation for what exactly was false.
Look at all these idiots with masks on. They really believe that the coronavirus is a thing. It's crazy. Crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, they're 50 and 60 years old. I guess you should be worried about the coronavirus at that age.
These proceedings, and our pool reporter from ABC was in the chamber as Cicilline was making this presentation, and she was actually watching Mike Lee, and she reports that he started scribbling furiously on a pad floor. As you can see, I think we're looking mostly there at Democrats, or what the camera is showing.
Adjourn until 12 noon tomorrow, Thursday, February 11th.
That infamous Rudy Giuliani voicemail to Tommy Tuberville, and that obviously was what they were really wanting to get at there. So, big picture here today, Casey. They seem to. It was the methodical. They started with creating the intent, then the insurrection itself. That infamous Rudy Giuliani voicemail to Tommy Tuberville, and that obviously was what they were really wanting to get at there. So. Big picture here today, Casey. They seem to. It was the methodical. They started with creating the.
I can't with this video anymore. It's too long. I should have timestamped it before I started. Oh wow, that was a lot to take in. I mean, just when you just think things can't get any more unclear, if you will. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it, man. I'm gonna call it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it tonight. Villain, if you're still in here, Chandler, if you're still in here, thank you very much. You guys, it was a great show tonight, and I really appreciate your guys' help in informing people. And Chandler will probably have on the show again. I mean, probably have Villain on there again too at some point. But appreciate you guys showing up. I appreciate you fans, loyal Jake fans, loyal BEL, Behind Enemy Lines fans. Tonight was a good night. Had a good show. That's all I got for you guys. Anybody got anything they want to say? Yeah, it is a circus, though. That was definitely a circus. Also, I want to say, I know the streams haven't been real interesting lately. Like I said, you can't just create content, especially when we do things like what we do. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for always showing up, even when it's a death stream like this. And Saturday's the day. Be looking for a stream then. There's a couple of Antifa events in between then. I'm going to try and figure something out. I can't ever seem to get anybody to go down there with me. But I love you guys. I love you fans. I love you mods. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all your help. And I'll see you guys on the next one. If nothing's going on tomorrow, I'll probably do a death stream again. So just be looking for that. But hope you guys have a good night. And we'll see you later, Patriots.